Saturday night, the Washington Capitals beat the New York Rangers 4-2. Todd Krieger scored twice, sending Mike Richter to the bench and throwing some doubt into the minds of the New York Rangers. Tonight, Paramount 20 Sports is live from New York City to bring you Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Washington Capitals and the host New York Rangers. It's live Stanley Cup playoff action on WDCA TV. Stay tuned.
This ain't no party. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around. No time for dancing. I love it, Delvin. I ain't got time for that now.
All right, here, Jeff Rimmer.
Mic test.
That wasn't a very long tease.
Dale Hunter, Mike Richter.
Which order, though?
Hunter first.
Sure.
The lights are out here at Madison Square Garden in New York for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinal. The New York Rangers with a 3-1 series lead. The Capitals, for the second straight game, face elimination, but a determined effort Saturday night at the U.S. Air Arena brought the Capitals to within 2 games of tying the series with a 4-2 victory. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Rimmer, your play-by-play voice here on Paramount 20, as always joined by Sean Simpson. And Sean, let's go back to that game Saturday night. An inspired Washington Capitals hockey club with elimination facing them came up with a big effort. How can they build on that here tonight?
Well, you look at the situation, of course, this Capital team. Why should you ever doubt the character? They came out, they played well. Finally, maybe there's a little light at the end of that tunnel. Of course, the Rangers still hold a huge advantage, but all of a sudden here you can bring it back to Madison Square Garden, and the Caps are back in the series a little bit.
As we look back on that game against the Rangers Saturday night in Washington, it didn't show up on the score sheet, but I thought Dale Hunter had a whale of a hockey game.
Well, you look at people, and you hear of people having career years, Jeff. The other night, Dale Hunter always plays well, but he brought his game up another level. And that's what the Capitals are looking for. Top people to have not only good games, but bring it up another level so they can beat this Ranger club. One indication, Hunter on the faceoffs the other night, Jeff, won 17 of a possible 21, dominated the Rangers.
And on the opposite side of the ice, certainly the man of the hour tonight for the New York Rangers has to be goaltender Mike Richter.
Well, you look at Richter's situation, Jeff, had such a strong season. Mike Keenan has given him the confidence throughout the season, played him over and over. But the other night, hey, I'm sure Richter coming into the game, not really thinking about the poor effort in Washington. But hey, if the Capitals get a couple of goals early, get him thinking, get Mike Keenan in the crowd thinking, that'll be much to their advantage, because it has to be in his mind just a little bit.
The teams are heading out to the ice here for Game 5. I'm Jeff Rimmer along with Sean Simpson, and we'll return with Caps coach Jim Schoenfeld. Stay with us.
Jeff, you know? Jeff. Maple Leafs are 43.
Got me.
On a blank too? I think it was 43.
Hello, Bill Bilodeau. Can you hear me? Here we are. evening, everyone. Jeff Rimmer back here at Madison Square Garden in New York prior to Game 5 of this Eastern Conference semifinal, joined by Washington Capitals head coach Jim Schoenfeld. Jim, before we talk about tonight's game, let's build on game number 4. And the second period in particular, was that the best period of hockey the Capitals have played in the playoffs?
Well, we played a great period. We had a couple of good periods against the Penguins as well, and we had a real good period in here in the second game, too, against the Rangers. But I think the remarkable thing about that game was our penalty killing. We're up against a dynamic power play in the New York Rangers, and to have a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes and not allow a goal, and then the 5-minute major to Poulin, who's one of our best penalty killers. He's gone, and Ridley's out. He's one of our another one of our best penalty killers. He's out with an injury. To hold them to only 1 goal with a 5-minute advantage, I think our players deserve an awful lot of credit for that.
What are you expecting back here from the Rangers in game number 5 in their own building?
Well, we expect them to be better than they were in Game 4. I mean, that's the nature of playoff hockey. With every game, you should improve. The intensity level rises, not only with every round, but with every game. They're not pleased. You know, they wanted to eliminate us in 4 straight, and we know they're going to be a hungry team. We expect them to come out of the gate strong. They want to give us a reason to fold up, but we're not going to fold up. We're going to weather the 10-minute storm and take our game from there.
As a player, now as a coach, there is such a thing called momentum, and right now the Capitals got some momentum to build on.
Well, we're still a long way from where we want to be. You know, we're down in this series 3-1, but we've taken a big step towards that goal, and all we have to do is win 1 game 3 more times.
All right, good luck tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Head coach Jim Schoenfeld, we're back with the opening face-off right here from Madison Square Garden in New York. Stay tuned. Jeff Rimmer, Sean Simpson rejoining you here on Paramount 20 from the Garden in New York. Don Beaupre and the Washington Capitals trailing in the series, Sean, 3-1.
Well, of course, Beaupre had a strong game in Game 4. Made the saves he had to make, particularly on the Rangers' power play. Was seen through traffic. Again, the Capitals, of course, are going to be looking for their big goaltending, but I think he's going to have to make even bigger saves here against the Rangers tonight.
At the opposite end of the ice, Mike Richter back in the nets.
Well, no doubt about it for the Rangers. Glenn Healy finishing off Game 4 in Washington, but they're right back to Mike Richter, still unbeaten on home ice, and we'll see how he responds. So far this year, Jeff, when pulled by Mike Keenan, it was a total of 10 games. The game after being pulled, he responded with a 7-3 record, so that's definitely a positive for Mike Keenan and his troops.
Jim Schoenfeld behind the Capitals bench, and the officials crew for tonight's game: Andy Van Helleman, the referee, Ron Finn, and Ray Scampanello, the linesman. This one underway with Hunter winning the first draw of the evening. In the Ranger end, Leach away from Hunter. The pass on the left wing for Adam Graves, who rolls it in. Kelly Miller picks it up for Washington behind Don Beaupre. Hit by Messier along the boards, comes to Messier. Anderson centering pass. Bukaboom saves at the line. They call it offside, but boy, I'll tell you what, Scampanello may have missed that one.
Well, that was a close play right there. Bukaboom working back to the point, trying to hold that puck in. Actually had it shielded from our vantage point. So we'll give the linesman benefit of the doubt as they're in good position. We got to look at the Capitals bench. Jim Schoenfeld along with assistant coach Keith Allain. And again, that win the other night giving them a little confidence. Now telling his hockey club, hey, let's go out there. If we can win tonight, bring it back to the USA Arena. All of a sudden, we're swinging the pressure onto the Rangers after they had gone up 3-0 in the series.
I tell you what, if the Capitals win tonight's game, this one is going 7 games. And in a 7th game, there's no such thing as home ice advantage, Sean.
Well,
Capitals can win tonight, this is going to be an awfully interesting series.
Still a long ways away, but hey, it's possible.
Hammered in, high off the glass. Picked up by Ricci. Joe Ricci now leads the Capitals up ice. Rolls it in wide of the net. Over the stick of Mike Richter. On the left wing boards, Kosar tries to clear. Slaney saves at the line, but it was knocked down by Karpatsev. The pass for Nemchinov broken up by Slaney. Puck batted out of the air and then moved into the corner. Greg Gilbert. Along the near boards. Puck picked up by Karpatsev. Just underway in Game 5. Rangers leading the series. Scoreless here in the first.
Hear the roar of the crowd. Joey Kosar looking for a penalty. Definitely a dive right at the Capitals blue line.
Here's Kovalev from outside the line. Beaupre the save. He'll hold on. There will be no further play.
Kovalev benched in Game 4 for a part of the third period. Mike Keenan quoted in the paper this morning, actually lashed out a little bit on Kovalev, said he was directly responsible. 2 bad offensive plays led to turnovers and led to 2 of the 4 Capital goals.
A turnover early was very costly, and Kovalev surprisingly did not get on the ice in the Rangers 5-on-3 advantage shot. And if you have to look at it, that was the turning point of the hockey game.
There it is, Kosar right there. Dave Poole with a little stick on him. Kosar trying to hop over the stick. Hustle in and that puck dumped in by the Rangers.
Rangers have not lost a playoff game this season, nor any since March 18th here at Madison Square Garden. Capitals are down 3-1. They must play with the same kind of determination they played with in Game 4 at the US Air Arena. Beaupre rolls it around, cut off by Anderson. Backhanded in front, Leach with a shot that's blocked. Leach once more, score! Adam Graves may have redirected the shot from the point, and the Rangers have an early 1-0 lead.
Rangers took that early 1-0 lead at the USA Arena. Caps are able to respond, but again, this is not the start the Capitals were looking for. It all starts from behind the net. Donnie Beaupre with a clearing pass. Len Anderson was in great position, pinched along the boards, puts it back to the point, and whether or not Graves got a piece, look at the position he has. There's no way Beaupre could see this puck. The shot hits him and just squeaks through his body. And it's 1-0 Rangers. Here we get a look at Beaupre playing the puck behind the net. The shot, Anderson pinching along the boards. Beaupre has to scramble, and there's the backhanded pass that comes to the point. Again, we look at the shot by Leach. I don't think Graves got a piece of that, but did do a good job of shielding the viewpoint of goaltender Donnie Beaupre.
1:46, the time of the goal for the Rangers, and they lead 1-0. Indeed, Graves gets the goal, and that goal for Adam Graves, his 6th of the playoffs. 1-0 Rangers. Graves scored the first goal Saturday night.
Yeah, so good work by Adam Graves in front of the net. From the angles we saw, it looked like Leach's shot got through. So the Caps now have to climb back here. Still 17:56 left in this first period, but much different than the US Air Arena. You have the Ranger crowd here excited about trying to wrap things up, get the team out, get that first goal, and definitely get them right into it.
Adam Graves, 3rd goal of the series, 6th of the playoffs. New York 1, while Washington Capitals no score. Play along the near board. Zubov tries to get a stick on it. Tikkanen, backhanded pass. Up comes Noonan, bounces one wide of Don Beaupre. Team captain Kevin Hatcher sandwiched by a pair of the Rangers, but is able to clear the zone. Kevin Lowe backhands right to Mike Ridley. Ridley now along the line. Knocked down by Zubov. Here's Tikkanen with Zubov. Shot by Tikkanen, high and wide on the glove side. Comes all the way back to neutral ice. Kevin Lowe slides it across for Zubov. Sends it ahead for Noonan. Noonan in front of the Ranger bench. The pass for Lowe. Here's Tikkanen, right back to Lowe, top of the circle, fakes the shot, moves in. Here's a shot by Lowe, the rebound left in front, then swept to the board. Picked up by Brian Noonan, top of the circle, fakes the shot. Tries to feed Tikkanen from a sharp angle. He throws it in front. Kevin Hatcher, the team captain for the Capitals, will bounce one in wide of Richter. This will be icing as Bukaboom touches up. Icing is waved off. Centering pass. Here's Messier down the right wing. Outskates Riki. Goes in front. The save by Beaupre. Poulin. Here's a shot by Leach that's knocked down. Bukaboom, right wing boards. In front, off the stick of Poulin and wide. The Rangers have come up with all kinds of intensity here in the first period. They lead 1-0. There's a hit on Craig Berube.
That last icing was waved off because a Hatcher shot went through the blue crease area, which is automatic.
Messier, left wing boards. Cross ice. Shot from the point by Bukaboom, knocked down. Rangers get it again. Messier in front. Beaupre is down, and Messier hasn't rolled off his stick. Delayed penalty with Richter out of the net. Touched up by the Capitals and play whistle down. And the Rangers, who have come out with all kinds of pressure early, will get a power play. They lead 1-0.
Back here at Madison Square Garden, at this last break, Donnie Beaupre having words with Andy Van Hellemond, talking to him, arguing about interference around the crease area. Here's a look at Glenn Anderson working against Beaupre and Joe Riki. There he is, coming through the crease area. Play finally touched up. Craig Berube into the penalty box for cross-checking.
And the New York Ranger power play. Second best, 12 goals, 48 opportunities, 25%, but they've scored just 4 of 21 with the extra man. They've got it here. Konowalchuk throws it in front, off the post, and Richter will cover up as the Rangers get sloppy in their own end.
Capitals actually with their first shot on goal on the man short. Good work by Konowalchuk and Poulin moving in. Konowalchuk off of the right side, the centering pass. Richter with the save, and Poulin just trying to redirect it. Goes off of the side of the net, and Richter has to be careful not to overreact. Let it come to him rather than directing at the puck and kicking it back towards the goal area.
You heard Jim Schonfeld in our pregame talk in terms of just how impressed he has been throughout this series with the Capitals in the penalty killing department. No bigger have the Capitals been, Sean Simpson, while a man short than they were on that 5-on-3.
Likes to keep it to the quick shifts, uses lots of people. That last shift by Konowalchuk and Poulin, 13 seconds.
No shorthanded goals in this series. Both teams have found the slugging tough while playing with an extra man. Slaney rolls it down the ice as he gets it by the backliner of the Rangers, and back to pick it up is Richter.
Cats are going to have to do a better job, Jeff, in the crease area, moving people. That led to the Graves goal, and it just led to a great chance by Stefan Matteau.
1:11 remaining in the Ranger power play. Kovalov with Hatcher draped all over him. Kovalov still chased by Hatcher. He goes to the ice on the hit by Hatcher, and Kovalov is down in the corner. Play whistle down. Kovalov hit by Hatcher. Looked innocent from here. It's on the far side of the ice, but Kovalov down in considerable pain.
No doubt about it, was Hatcher the only player around him. Here we get a look at it in the far corner, and there it is, the quick stick. No doubt about it, high stick into the face area. Van Hellemond doesn't see it, and I don't think either of the linesmen see it. Oddly enough, Jeff, the linesmen we have here tonight Gerard Gauthier, if you remember back to Game 6 against the Pittsburgh Penguins, he was the man who called the high stick on Kevin Hatcher on Jaromir Jagr, kicked him out of the hockey game in the first period. No such call right by Gauthier right now. Campanella, sorry.
Kovalov getting some help, and he now heads off. Here's the hit on Mike Ridley in Game 4. Now there's Kovalov coming up high on Ridley. Ridley hurting his shoulder, but he also took it high. Now there's Ridley in practice, and he's in the lineup here tonight.
Now Kovalev sporting a little bit. Look right on the chin area, a little cut. Look at the quick stick by Hatcher right there. Comes up, no doubt about it, catches Kovalev. Fortunately, Andy Van Hellemond does not get the aid of a replay on that call.
Alexei Kovalov, certainly one of the players that's discussed most by both teams. From the Ranger perspective, Mike Keenan far from pleased with his performance in Game 4. And of course, from the Capitals' perspective, a player they feel takes too many liberties. Gardner wheels around. Cote, only to be hit by Cote. Graves to the point. Leach. Grass ice, Zubov. Winds up, traffic in front, deflected. Don Beaupre never saw it. It went off of him and up into the crowd.
Faceoff will come to the outside. Van Hellemond ruling that puck goes off the side of the net. Zubov back at the right point. Again, the Rangers have people in front of the net. Here comes the shot. Off of the bar and over the glass. And look at the reaction of Donnie Beaupre, putting the arms up in the air.
Never saw it.
Never saw that puck. Looked like it was tipped en route. Comes very, very close.
32 seconds remaining in the Craig Berube penalty for cross-check. Rangers with the extra man. Hatcher. Caps win the draw, scores! Oh my, what a goal! From the Capitals' blue line, Kevin Hatcher with a clearing pass, and it bounces all the way down the ice and into the net.
I'll tell you, that's a break the Caps are looking for. Nothing fancy. Hatcher had a clearing pass earlier in the period that went through the crease. This time he's right on range. We get a look at it from Mike Richter's perspective. Hatcher off of the draw, just a quick shot. Bounces on the way in, must have changed direction. There it is.
And that, my friends, is a shorthanded goal, the first of the series. And for Kevin Hatcher, he'll never score an easier goal than that one, save for an empty net. Third goal of the playoffs.
Well, we talked about Mike Richter being pulled in the last hockey game. What does a goal like that do for his confidence?
In front again. Final seconds ticking off. One, Berube's out of the box. The Caps have killed off another one. And to add insult to injury, the Kevin Hatcher goal has the Caps and the Rangers tied here at the Garden in New York.
Wow, what a buzz that is, eh?
Assist. Ridley, that's it?
Yeah, off with the draw. Yeah, redirected.
Did it deflect?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Who?
He went to move one way. No, it hit the ice and went another way. You know how on the edge
Bounce.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
bounce.
yeah. Those are tough to play. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
What's this? Time track?
Time track beginning at 8 o'clock.
Even if we're in play-by-play? Jeff Rimmer and Sean Simpson rejoining you here, and here's one more look at it.
There's the shot. There's the quick bounce right in the hash mark. Redirects just a little. Mike Ridley gets the only assist. He won that draw right back to Hatcher.
So the bouncing puck takes that funny bounce in front of Mike Richter, beats him on the short side. The Capitals and the Rangers tied 1-1, and it takes a little sting out of the Rangers' play here early in period one. Kevin Lowe tried to flip it ahead. Todd Krieger, who had a pair of goals in Game 4, across the line. On the turnover, Matteau. Kovalov Wheels his way in. Tries to get by Stanley, who makes the play, but not out. Zubov with a shot. The big save by Beaupre off the blocker. Here's Todd Krieger, right wing for Joey Junot. He had a goal in game number 4. Junot. Jones with a shot there. Kovalov dumped by Jones after the follow-through towards the net. Near corner. Picked up by Joey Junot. Hatcher with a shot. Richter the stick save. 12:52 left. Capitals now have come to life with some shots at Mike Richter. They'll be shooting from a distance after that long goal scored from inside the blue line. And the crowd still abuzz at the Garden here in New York. Icing the call against the Rangers, and the face-off back in the New York end.
Well, what a lift that gives the Capitals, and goaltender Donnie Beaupre. Good save by Beaupre off of the right point shot from Sergei Zubov, and there's Kevin Hatcher with a smile on his face, talking with defensive partner John Slaney, and that's the type of break you look for in a hockey game. The Rangers came out, had the momentum, got the early goal, crowd into it. And all of a sudden, Kevin Hatcher ties it up. You look at Alexei Kovalev.
Watch Jones here on the follow-through after the shot at the net, pulling Kovalev down. And Helleman did not see it. Teams remain at full strength. Randy Burridge far side. Stepped into there. This is Jay Wells behind the net. Chased by Pat Peak. Peak now on the turnover. Walks in front. The shot and the save by Richter. There'll be no further play. The puck was loose. Randy Burridge upset. Van Helleman whistle play down. He had lost sight of the puck. In fact, he did not have the best advantage standing behind the net. And now, as a result, sticks and gloves get high. And Burridge being held out from the play by Gilbert. Reekie now has an arm lock on Gilbert. No damage done, but there could be some penalties.
Now, Capitals want to take advantage when the fourth line for the Rangers is out there, as well as Karpotsov and Wells, their fifth and sixth defensemen. Right off of the draw, Wells working against Pat Peak. There's the quick forechecking. Burridge into the corner. Put that puck back around the net. And it'll Peak will eventually steal this puck off of Wells. There's the hit. Comes out of the corner. Walks, takes the shot on Richter. There's Karpotsov down in the crease. Randy Burridge sees that puck loose. No doubt about it, he had a right to complain right there. That puck was never covered by either the defenseman or the goaltender, as we get a look at it now from behind the net. And the pushing and shoving penalties.
Kosher and Pat Peak, 2 each for roughing at 7:38. So we'll play 4-on-4 here. You know, you look back at that goal by Kevin Hatcher, and the New York Rangers cynics might say the ghosts of 1940 reappearing.
Well, I'll tell you, interesting from the other night, speaking of the odd man situations, late in the hockey game, the Rangers only down 4-2, but Mike Keenan, oddly enough, continued to shift the fourth line, Jeff, every second shift. In some instances, you might say, really did not give his team the opportunity to try to tie up that hockey game. And we'll wait and see if that comes back to haunt the coach and the Rangers.
Adam Graves, Messier. Messier now bounces one in on Don Beaupre. Beaupre shovels it off into the corner. Played off the boards. Caps tried to clear. Graves backhands it right back to Christian. Messier with a loose puck. Centers for Leach. Off the point. Leach in there. Score! Rangers get it again. Adam Graves. And New York leads 2-1.
4-on-4 situation. Adam Graves in his favorite spot. Last goal, nobody moved him. This time, just a breakdown in the Capital zone. He's all alone for a one-timer between the hash marks. Here's the play. Capitals try to leave their own zone. Graves circles up, puts it back into the corner. There's Dmitry Kristich again with the turnover. Brian Leach a 2-on-1. The quick pass. There's the one-timer. Nice backhand pass by Brian Leach, though. First the backhander by Messier. Now look at this quick pass. Just over the stick of Kevin Hatcher. And the quick one-timer. What a pretty passing play and a nice finish by Adam Graves.
Give Messier a lot of credit, digging the puck out of the corner and away from Dmitry Kristich. And the Rangers get their second goal in this first period from Adam Graves, his 7th of the playoffs. Just a programming reminder, tomorrow night, Paramount 20 will air Star Trek Deep Space Nine at 8 o'clock. The movie Back to the Future will be rescheduled later this summer. Deep Space Nine, and time tracks starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening here on Paramount 20. Rangers in their own zone. Glenn Anderson leading. New York up ice. Here's Anderson, tries to bully his way between the Caps backliners, but Cote with a hip check, and on the turnover, Washington now tries to clear. Zubac throws off into the corner. Ridley tying up his man. The fans looking for a penalty call. Zubac breaks a stick on it. Saved there by Leach. Traffic in front of Don Beaupre. No question, score! Rangers again storming the net. And Don Beaupre upset. He is arguing with Andy Van Helleman. The Ranger game plan tonight, Sean, is to storm the net and create traffic in front of Don Beaupre.
Well, without a doubt, they're doing a great job. Again, a player all alone in front of the goaltender. Nobody moving him. Look at, there's Tikkanen. Mike Ridley right next to him, pushing and shoving with Donnie Beaupre. He'll get back up, and before Beaupre can recover, that's why he's arguing with Andy Van Helleman. Tikkanen puts the backhand again between the legs of Donnie Beaupre. There it is, Tikkanen with the foot in the crease. So Beaupre not only arguing as we're going to get a goaltending change, not only arguing the interference, but also the fact that Tikkanen was in the crease area. Look at Schoenfeld, he has an earful for Andy Van Helleman.
Rick Tabaracci is fielding his mask, his goal stick, and his blocker pad. Jim Schoenfeld beside himself. There's Keith Jones, and there's no question in my mind that what Mike Keenan's game plan tonight is to storm the Washington net. That's all we've seen here with the Rangers in control in the offensive zone.
Well, you always say a quality shooting area is from the slot. All three Ranger goals have come from that area.
This is as much an effort by Schoenfeld to sit Don Beaupre down and give him a chance to kind of regroup. It's not necessarily because he's been beaten by the 3 goals, as much as it is to see Beaupre right now off his game.
Here's another look at it. There's Beaupre working with Tikkanen, puts the slash into the back of the legs. Tikkanen falls into him. Then with both feet in the crease area, backhands it past the goaltender, and also Schoenfeld arguing. He wants Van Helleman to take a look at that replay before play can start, because once play starts, you can't go back, and it's 3-1 Rangers.
Tikkanen from Leach and Zubac. It is 3-1 New York. Kristich in front, off a skate wide, delayed penalty upcoming as the Rangers will touch up here now. Caps for the extra attacker, and there the Rangers get a stick on it, and the Capitals will have their first power play of the evening when we return. 10:43 left in the first. New York 3, Caps 1. What's wrong with the first time? What was wrong? Well, this was originally scheduled tonight. Deep Space Nine. Oh, well, I wish you would have told me, and I could have promoted it that way.
You're not reading that again, are you?
Back on Paramount 20, Jeff Brimmer, Sean Simpson, those tuning in tonight and expecting to see your Star Trek specials, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Time Tracks, with the Capitals playing Game 5 here in New York tomorrow. We have rescheduled those 2 programs beginning at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and the movie Back to the Future will be rescheduled to later this summer. Again, tomorrow night, Paramount 20 will present Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Time Tracks beginning at 8 o'clock. Caps on the power play. Junot, top of the circle, shot knocked down by Leach, and the zone is clear. Washington on the power play. 14th best of the 16 playoff teams. 5 goals in 50 opportunities in this series. Washington has scored 2 times in 20 man advantage situation. A goal here would be awfully big as the Caps try to get back in the hockey game as we approach the midway point of period 1. 3-1 Rangers lead. Dale Hunter in the corner. Look to feed it in front for Pat Pete. Hunter now gets it back. Joey Junot unable to keep it in as it was slapped off his stick by Craig McTavish. Rangers get some fresh legs on. 9:48 left in the period. 1:02 in the penalty to Bookaboo. The zone cleared by Kevin Lowe. Tabaracci out to play it. Banks it off the boards and picked up by Slaney.
That last rush by the Capitals, they get to the blue line, everybody standing around, no speed, no way they're going to enter under control that way.
Here comes Mike Ridley across the line, deals it. Ahead there for Pat Peake, and he could not control the pass. Again, the Rangers clear. Tabaracci with a quick feed. Sean Anderson on the left wing boards. The pass to Kristich. Tries to dance his way in. Behind the net, Karpatsev on the backhand. And this one goes off his stick up into the crowd.
Now Jim Schoenfeld making the goaltending change. It looks like Rick Tabaracci's going to stay in there. At least he has a little bit of a break here. Caps on the power play, a chance to loosen up. Is not allowed to warm up. Mike Keenan has to be awfully pleased with the way his club has come out. Donnie Beaupre already out of the hockey game. 11 shots by the Rangers, really controlling the action. And aside from that fluke goal by Hatcher, the Capitals have not had very many good chances in the first 11 minutes of this hockey game.
.21 seconds remaining in the Capitals power play. McTavish wins the faceoff. Zubov on the hard around, sends it down deep into the Capital zone. Tabaracci will trap it, setting it up for Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher winds his way to center, walks it across the line. Knocked off his stick by Leach, gets it right back. Now, feeds it up the left wing boards. Ridley looks cross ice for Kristich, who darts to the net. Kristich circles away from Leach. Rangers have killed off the penalty. Team's back at full strength. Caps try to pit it along the boards. Kristich in off the point. Slaney looks in front. Oh! Getting across there with a big play. The Caps, we thought, almost had the goal there.
Now Zubov tying Ridley up just at the last second. Ridley had the open net. Good defensive play right there.
Kovalov stopped at the line, and it's called on the offside. Ray Scampanello ruling the Rangers were offside, and with 8:08 remaining, the face-off outside the New York line.
I'd say Kovalev hit right at the blue line, knee on knee with Kevin Hatcher. Steve Larmer ends up being offside off of the right wing.
Looking back on Game 4 in Washington, the Rangers realized that they did not play one of their best games. Flaws in their games defensively, a weak power play, and the Rangers also guilty, according to Coach Mike Keenan, of taking undisciplined penalties. That is something they felt they must stay away from here tonight. Not allow the Capitals to carry any momentum into Game 5 after a victory in Game 4 in Washington. How about the crowd? They're getting on Richter there.
A little Bronx cheer for Richter on that long shot.
That's the thing. If the Capitals can get to Mike Richter, they can get him off his game and turn this crowd in a hurry against Mike Richter and the Rangers.
There's a hit. Craig Berube on Sergei Nemchinov. Good job by the Chief following through. Then a little extra punch to the back of the head. And here's the long shot. Tipped right at the blue line to go in on Mike Richter. Similar to the shot that Kevin Hatcher scored on him. But I'll tell you, especially for a home crowd and as well as Richter has played, when you make a save like that and hear that cheer, it's something you have to block out of your mind as a goaltender. Especially from your home team, not something you'd expect, but anything's possible here in New York.
The feeling here in New York is that the Rangers have their best team that they've had in a long, long time. But the Achilles heel, according to the Ranger cynics, Mike Richter, can he withstand the pressure as these playoffs build?
I think also that's unfairly put on Richter. Here's a guy that had 40-plus wins this season.
Koser deals it in front. Delayed penalty. Upcoming as the Caps touch up. A tripping penalty against Washington will give the Rangers a power play. I agree with you, Sean. I mean, Mike Richter's had an outstanding season. More wins. He's given up fewer goals, fewer losses than any other goaltender. Mike Keenan trying to build up his confidence prior to this series in the playoffs by saying he was worthy of the Vezina Trophy. But still, there's an element of doubt in what Mike Richter can do for these Rangers.
Joe Rinke. You look at Anthony Mason, one of the New York Knicks, walking around with a New York Rangers shirt. You wonder why he was suspended earlier in the year by the Rangers, the way he's dressed. But you look at the situation with Richter, Jeff, one more comment. In any city, and especially with the media here in New York, no matter how well you play in the regular season, until you win that championship, there's always going to be skeptics and doubters, and that's exactly what Mike Richter's going to have to do, bring home a Stanley Cup to New York before people are really going to be satisfied, and at the same time get rid of some of the doubters who thought maybe they should have kept John Van Beesbroek last summer over Mike Richter.
Rangers have had an outstanding season, #1 overall. Again, haven't lost here at home in the playoffs or regular season since the 18th of March. But still, people doubting what this hockey team can do. Connor Walchuk, poked off his stick, goes right back after it in the corner. Bumps Zubov, but carrying away is Glenn Anderson, who is goalless in the playoffs. And the subject of several stories. Anderson in, great glove save by Rick Tabaracci. And Anderson, again, denied an opportunity. That might have been one of his better scoring opportunities in the playoffs.
That's character right there by Rick Tabaracci, coming in cold. First shot on goal, a breakaway. Big glove save.
Rangers with the extra man. Again, there's traffic in front of the Washington net. Anderson all over Tabaracci, who takes exception, and he throws Anderson. Bit of a cross-check back. Adam Graves to Leach. Left point. Looks for Zubov. Zubov into the slot area, tipped by Graves high and wide. Anderson knocked off the puck by Kevin Hatcher. Deals to Leach. Crash ice Messier. Messier looks. Zubov set and ready. Fires a shot off the back of Tabaracci. Gets right back up. He was momentarily stunned. Again, down low, Leach throws it in front. Adam Graves, who's got 2 goals, had it poked off his stick by Rick Tabaracci. 26 seconds on the power play. Rangers all over Washington. Leach, Messier, winds up, pad save, rebound, cleared to the corner. Ridley will clear high over top of the outstretched glove of Zubov.
Great work by Rick Tabaracci, clearing that rebound himself. Again, fighting through the traffic, picking up that puck. Just fighting and battling, making some good saves.
3 seconds left. Kovalov, the toe, turned and fired it through the crease. Bouncing puck played by Rinke out of the box, and he'll send it right on Richter. And again, a cynical cheer from the crowd here at the Garden, and that has got to bother Mike Richter. Anderson off the boards for Joey Junot. Junot hustling after it. Up ice, the feed. Backhanded by Sean Anderson into the corner. Karputsov for New York. Throws it far side. This is Larmer. Off the boards, knocked down by Keith Jones. Connor Walchuk. Junot. Karputsev, but not out. Jason Woolley whistles one wide of the net. Left wing moved by Matteau. Here hustling after it is Kovalov, and he hits Rick Tabaracci. Junot behind the net. Steps away from Kovalov. Shot from the point. Tabaracci the save, and he holds on to the rebound. A glove into the face of Kevin Hatcher, and a roughing penalty upcoming to the Rangers. If the Caps show some discipline here, they will get a power play.
Kevin Hatcher, good job. Kovalev trying to get a piece of him. It was Hatcher who caught Kovalev with a high stick earlier in the period. There's payback, but it'll be a capital power play.
Tremendous intensity here in the first. Stay tuned. Look at that, Hatcher's getting a penalty. Oh no, it's not Jones.
It's going to be 4-2, I think, though.
Washington penalty on number 26, Keith Jones. Rangers penalty on number 27, Alexei Kovalov. 2 minutes each for roughing. Time 15:40. Jones and Kovalov, 2 each for roughing at 15:40.
There's the work behind the net. The hit by Alexei Kovalev on Kevin Hatcher. They'll come around in front of the net. Hatcher gives him a little stick. Here comes a punch after Rick Tabarachi holds on to that puck. And there comes Keith Jones, the retaliation, and that is not what the Capitals wanted to see. And I'll tell you, Keith Jones was so strong in that Pittsburgh series because he was good at drawing the Pittsburgh Penguins into penalties. In this series, that's the third time that Keith Jones has been on a retaliation end of things. Twice it's led to a Ranger power play, and this time takes away a Capitals power play.
I might have to ask Keith about that. He'll be our first intermission guest. No question, you've got to show some discipline there.
Against the Penguins, he has such a great ability of talking to them, getting under their skin, letting them react to him. In this series, the Rangers have done that job against Jones, and it's been vice versa.
4-on-4 hockey. New York has scored twice. 4-on-4 in this first period. The go-ahead goal by Adam Graves, his second of the evening, and then Esa Tikkanen. Shot by Christian, pass-in, rebound, scores! The Capitals get a goal, and again, it's a one-goal hockey game.
Well, Sean Anderson coming off of the bench, perfect timing, scooting in off of the left point, not holding up, following into the play. He'll take a hold of this rebound. Anderson coming off the strong game in Game 4. There's a drop pass, a shot, the big rebound by Richter, and here comes Anderson. Slides it right along the ice, and all of a sudden it's a 3-2 hockey game. There's Dale Hunter gaining the zone, the quick drop pass. Kristich winding up, just a shot on goal. Look at that big rebound. And there's Sean Anderson. And Jeff, let's give Rick Tabarachi some credit. He's had 6 shots on goal so far since coming into the hockey game. A couple of big saves, killed off that power play, giving the Capitals a chance to get back in the hockey game, and that's exactly what they have done on that last goal.
Dale Hunter draws the second assist. Kristich the first. 16-20. Again, a one-goal hockey game, and again, not to overstate it, but if the Capitals continue to get the shots at the net and Mike Richter, they are going to score some goals. Here on the turnover, Tabarachi with a pad save, and the Caps alertly clear it all the way back down to the Ranger end. Wukaboom lumbers back, touches up, and it's an icing call.
Well, you look at the situation, Jeff, and hey, anybody's a human being, and Mike Richter tries to be as strong as he possibly can, but you can't tell me when you allow a goal, not a good one by Kevin Hatcher, but when you hear your fans giving you the Bronx cheer a couple of times, it does not affect your confidence. On the other hand, Rick Tabarachi comes in cold, makes a great save on Glenn Anderson coming off of the right wing. There's Anderson on Anderson. I wanted to get a chance to show a replay from earlier where Anderson and Tabarachi were going at it. Quick little story on them. Rick Tabarachi, of course, from Toronto, Jeff, owns a house in Toronto. Does not live there, of course, in the season with the Washington Capitals. But Glenn Anderson, well, a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, rented the house from Tabarachi. So, you know, they've been close. But, hey, when you come close to Tabarachi and his feisty style in that crease there, he's going to give you the stick, and he gave it right to Anderson.
Caps win the draw. Slaney momentarily stops behind Tabarachi. Now steps in front. Off the boards into neutral ice where it's played by Dave Poulin. He steps into Kevin Lowe, and it's Larmer circling in his own zone. Steve Larmer on the left wing from that toe, and the turnover. Here's Dave Poulin. Poulin with Todd Krieger. Krieger with the puck, and blocking it there was Zubov. Cap still control. Slaney right circle in front, fires it wide. Stefan Matteau picking it up for New York. Away from Poulin for Zubov. They play catch. Matteau to Larmer at center. Steve Larmer back to Matteau. Plays on Hatcher. The two along the board. Matteau on the turnover. Junot finding Todd Krieger. Jones out of the box gets in the play. Junot away from a hit. Now is dumped by Karpatsev. Here comes a tripping penalty. And now Krieger is dumped at center by Brian Leach, but the original penalty to Karpatsev for tripping.
Todd Krieger out there using his speed with Dave Poulin on a 2-on-1. Karpatsev hauls down Joey Juneau right at the blue line, so Caps will go back on the power play.
Hold on. Cote dumping the Ranger at center ice, as I point out. So we're going to get 2 penalties called on the same play.
There it is. Karpatsev hauling down Joey Juneau. Play will come out to center ice. Leach working with Todd Krieger. Both players go down. So again, a capital power play is going to be wiped out. Good call, Jeff, as Sylvain Cote has gone to the penalty box.
17:51, the time of these penalties.
Washington penalty, Sylvain Cote, 2 minutes with a slashing. Rangers penalty, number 32, Stephen Mattel, 2 minutes with a slashing. Number 25, Karpatsev, to a tripping.
Tripping to Karpatsev, slashing to Cote. 17:51. And we've had 1, 2, 3 goals scored, 4-on-4 with the extra open ice. Let's see if that continues here in the first.
Caps will leave Joey Juneau out there. So far in this period, Jeff, with the exception of that 2-minute power play and a couple of even strength shifts, really have not seen a lot of Joey Juneau.
Now Juneau is still suffering from a Charlie horse, picked up in game 3. Played game 4, picked up 2 points, a goal and an assist. And he's being restricted here to duty, although with a little extra open ice, we look for him to get involved. Actually, on the coincidental penalties, they're playing 5-on-5. They were not actually now it's called in the same play. Puck picked up. This is Hatcher. The Caps actually now are looking at a power play or not.
Stéphane Matteau, 32 up on the board. They never announced the penalty, nor did we see him head over there.
No. Matteau in the box. And the Caps have a power play. Banked off the boards and set in deep. Washington with the extra man for the next minute and 19 seconds. Hatcher. Cross ice, Woolley to Juneau. Hunter centers for Hatcher. The wrist shot, the stick save. Hatcher bumps his man along the near boards. Caps control. Joey Juneau with the puck along the right wing. A Ranger Larmer is done. Hatcher around the net, throws it in front. Richter shutting the door on the short side. Less than a minute to go. A wide open first period of play. 5 goals have been scored. Rangers lead by 1. Zubov off the glass. Juneau hit by Tikkanen. Here come the Rangers. Zubov with a shot. Sticked aside by Rick Tabaracci. Mason Woolley to his own line. Woolley to center. Fires it wide of the net. Along the right wing board. Randy Burridge. Cross ice. Sent right back behind the net. Rolled by Leach into the corner. Picked up by the Rangers and they clear. Stay with us. Keith Jones will join us in the first intermission. Mike Ridley takes the pass, bounces one ahead. Randy Burridge for Kristich. Right back to Burridge, backhanded but knocked down by New York. The team's back to full strength.
Kristich slow going to the Capitals bench. He caught a high stick from Jeff Buchemund. Van Hellemond didn't see it.
The horn goes to end an exciting first 20 minutes of hockey here in New York. Adam Graves scores at 1:46. Kevin Hatcher ties it up for Washington. Graves with his second goal. Tikkanen making it 3-1. And then Sean Anderson scoring at 16:20, his first goal of the playoffs. And after 1 period of play, New York Rangers 3, the Capitals 2. Wide open first period.
Well, I think you look at that first period of hockey, the Rangers definitely came out controlled, followed their game plan, getting traffic in front of Donnie Beaupre, 3 goals from the slot area, but at the same time have to be a little demoralized after the Capitals get a lucky bounce and then a late goal that, hey, they're only up by 1 goal heading into the first intermission.
Washington Capitals saw the Rangers again storm out to an early 1-0 lead. Adam Graves scores to make it 1-0, but the Caps get a gift goal here.
Well, right off of the face-off, Ridley wins, back to Hatcher. There's the bounce right between the hash marks. And I'm sure Mike Richter looked behind him and said, after being pulled, oh no.
Shorthanded goal for Kevin Hatcher. First shorthanded goal of the series for Hatcher, his 3rd of the playoffs, 2nd of this series. Ridley draws the assist at 5:33, and the Capitals had tied the score. But to the Rangers' credit, after they were back on their heels, they again started storming the net in the Washington zone.
Well, this really results in a turnover. A couple of times, Cavs have a chance to clear it up the left wing. Graves circles back. Puck will come to Dmitry Kristich. He'll end up losing it. Watch the backhand pass by Messier. It'll turn into a 2-on-1 on Kevin Hatcher. And look at the nice pass by Brian Leach. Right over the stick of Hatcher. And make no mistakes about it. That's why Adam Graves had 53 goals. The one-timer between the legs, and the Rangers lead again.
So the goal by Adam Graves, 2nd of the night, 7th of the playoffs, his 4th of this series. Leach and Messier draw the assists, and the Rangers had taken a 2-1 lead on that Adam Graves goal, his 2nd of the night. They add to it. Keith Jones was telling us a few moments ago that he thought that Tikkanen was in the crease and the goal should have been called back. Your thoughts?
Well, I think at least the referee should have had a chance to replay this goal, no doubt about it. Donnie Beaupre, without a doubt, flustered. The shot comes. Look at there's the work, Tikkanen with Beaupre. If we could have backed it up a little bit, Beaupre was pushing and shoving with Tikkanen. Tikkanen got knocked down, recovered, never left the crease area. At the same time, Beaupre was never able to recover from that jostle in front of the net. Caps definitely had an argument there. Both of Tikkanen's skates were definitely in the crease.
So the Tikkanen goal is 3rd of the playoffs. Leach and Zubov draw the assist. 8:56 the time of the goal, and the Rangers led by a score of 3-1. And as we say, the Rangers deserve some credit. After the fluky goal got the Capitals on the board, so too the Capitals deserve credit, Sean, for coming back, and it was Sean Anderson pulling the trigger.
Well, I mentioned in the first period, Jeff, no doubt about it, you're a human being. Mike Richter, a couple of saves, the fans give him the Bronx cheer. Here it is, a shot from Dmitry Kristich, and look at the big rebound that Richter gives out. A big kick with the right pad, and here comes Anderson off of the bench. Hey, the first 4 games of this series, particularly the first 3, there's no way a shot like that, Richter would have been kicking that out. And that's just simply a case of the goaltender overreacting.
So the goal, Anderson's 1st of the playoffs. Kristich and Hunter draw the assists at 16:20. That goal scored 4-on-4. Now, let's look ahead to the 2nd period. Keith Jones tells us he expects things to tighten up. You too?
Well, for the Capitals' sake, it better tighten up. What the Capitals have to do, no doubt about it, start clearing people out in front of goaltender Rick Tabaracci. He came in, made some big saves for him. On the other end, Mike Richter has to be doubting himself. The crowd is on him. Continue to do that. Start pressing the other way, getting some chances. There was a 2-on-1 late in the period. Konowalchuk and Poulin didn't even result in a shot. But where was Mike Richter? He was back on his back. He doesn't have his confidence right now, and they've got to take advantage of that.
Paramount 20 intermission stats here on WDCA are brought to you by Roy Rogers. Stop by Roy's today for a delicious breakfast at terrific new low prices. Again, the score 3-2, Rangers lead. They've outshot Washington 19-12. On the power play, both teams are 0 for 2, although the Capitals scored shorthanded while New York had the man advantage. 5 penalties, 10 minutes for both sides. We'll step aside. The Rangers returning, period 2 ahead. Toe got the slashing penalty.
Yeah. They never announced it though. Hey?
Help us out as quick as you can with your stuff.
But they never announced it, never put it on the clock. Hey? Jeff?
No, they never did.
No, we can't see the penalty box from here. Why would you show
30
this?
seconds.
Why would you show this goal right here? Hey?
I'll tell you, they're their own worst enemy here.
No, I agree. That's got to be one of the worst goals I've ever seen in a playoff game.
Ah. That'll be on ESPN and all the other highlight shows. Jeff Rimmer, Sean Simpson rejoining you here on Paramount 20. We're set for the face-off very quickly on the Giant Food Out of Town scoreboard. I'll look at the other Eastern Conference semifinal, and it is Boston trailing New Jersey by a score of 1-0. Second period underway as Hunter rolls it in. Richter bounces it off the boards. Hunter picks it right back up. Kristen in front to Kelly Miller, and he couldn't hang out of that pass. Bukaboom steps into Miller. Kristen deals to Hunter. Back in the corner. Bukaboom all over Kelly Miller. Cote tried to save it along the line. He actually backhanded into his own zone. Messier upends Cote. The two off in the corner. Messier now away from Cote. Bumped by the Capitals defender. Messier now tries to send it to the point off of Capital. And out of the zone, play called on the offside. You know what, Sean? The New York Rangers are their own worst enemies. I say Rangers, I'm not talking about the hockey players here, but how about on the Garden scoreboard, and it's a beautiful scoreboard in center ice, big video, they show Mike Richter giving up that Kevin Hatcher goal from inside the blue line. That's got to work against them.
I'm sure the last thing he was looking up was that. There was no reaction from the fans to start this second period, but again, you start getting on you when you played so well. He started to doubt himself.
19-14. Left to go, second period. Capitals trail by a goal. Randy Burrett and Hatcher try to dig it away from the Ranger forward. Hatcher comes out of the pack with a pass to Ridley. Centers ahead here for Pat Pete. Off his stick, Kovalov. Right to Mike Ridley. Help back to the line. That's Hatcher. Hatcher, Anderson. Throws it ahead on the left wing, too far for Randy Burrage. Zubov looks for Kovalov, but Burrage cuts off that pass. Along the board, Mike Ridley trying to deal to Anderson at the point. Larmer, lead pass, Bateau. Gloved by Tabarachi. He'll cover up, no further play.
Kovalev coming off of the left side, driving to the net. Randy Burrage picked him up. There's a look at Rick Tabarachi. Came in that first period, Jeff. Sometimes easier for a goaltender when you know you're not playing. You have the chance to take the warm-up. You're loose. All of a sudden, the other goaltender lets in a couple of quick goals. You're in there quickly. Hey, he reacted greatly as Andy Van Helleman helps him out with the straps behind the pants. As we look at Sylvain Cote, that last rush by Mark Messier on his last shift. So nice to see a guy like Sylvain Cote out there, who with Messier's speed is one thing, but his great strength, that's really Sylvain Cote's strength, his skating and his ability to play somebody one-on-one. No problem with Messier on that last shift.
Another sellout crowd on hand here in New York for game number 5.
And look at Nicky Fotiu, former New York Ranger, tough guy.
Now coaching in the minors.
Yeah, the East Coast League. Did a little color on the Rangers radio this year as well. And colorful it must have been.
I'm sure. Cote tries to clear it. Nemchinov sends one wide of Tabarachi. And Ricky rolls it to the line and out. A Ranger was knocked into the net. Ryan Noonan, the fans here looking for a penalty call, none forthcoming. from Van Helleman. Cote. Hunter deflected off the stick of Konowalchuk. Hustling here is Joey Junot. Bumped by Nemchinov. Konowalchuk tying up Tikkanen. In the corner now. Konowalchuk raked along the boards by Nemchinov. Loose puck, Bukavu moves it. Only to see Riki throw it right back into that same corner. Leach pinned by Joey Junot. Bukavu tripped up by Keith Jones. Again, no penalty, much to the disgust of the fans here in New York.
Caps working very well along the boards. Bukavu got position on Jones. Jonesy grabs a hold of his stick, no call.
Here's Jones. Across the line, the feed to Todd Krieger, upended by Kevin Lowe. And here's Messier. Cross ice to Kovalov. Kovalov pulls up on the right wing boards. Messier tipped it, but wide. Lowe off the point. Shot by Kovalov. Wide. Adam Graves, bumped by Todd Krieger. Loose puck. Scooped up by Junot, who feeds to Hatcher, and the Caps out of the zone. The feed for Jones behind him, touched up by Zubov, and it's an icing call against the Washington Capitals. 16:48 left. It's a one-goal New York lead.
What are you doing? Pull it away. Hey? That's awful.
Can you get me another water before you get on?
Got a look at the Ranger bench. Mike Keenan throwing out a new line. There's some work along the boards. Joey Junot, there's a hit by Mark Messier. That last shift for the New York Rangers, though, throwing a lot of firepower out on the ice. Adam Graves, Mark Messier, and Alexei Kovalev a line. Kovalev replacing Glenn Anderson on that right wing.
Well, Anderson has struggled. He was acquired because of his prolific scoring ability in the playoffs. Some 80 goals in Stanley Cup playoff action. Most of them as a member of the Edmonton Oilers and their fourth Stanley Cup victory.
They get rid of Mike Gardner because he could not score in the playoffs, and he has 3 goals so far in the playoffs for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Riki, Kelly Miller, behind the net. Moved by Richter to Kevin Lowe, another ex-Oiler. On the turnaround, here's Hunter with a shot. Richter loses sight of it, makes the initial save. The Caps can't get a stick on the rebound at the other end. That toe denied by Tabaracci. Richter with Kelly Miller in deep. Leach, the pass to Zubov, and again we're going end to end. Entertaining for the fans, but certainly not the kind of hockey the two coaches, Mike Keenan and Schoenfeld, want to see.
Mike Richter had one of his best saves off of Dale Hunter in that last rush from the slot area.
In front, Richter shuts the door on the short side. Ridley in front again, and Richter had to be sharp there. Kristen, the Capitals with a pressure on. Kristen held up along the boards by Joey Kocur. The zone clear, Tikkanen at center. Play whistle down as it was gloved ahead. And there'll be no further play. 4:30 gone in period number 2.
Steve Larmer working out on that left wing with Dmitry Kristich pinned along the boards. Dmitry with his good strength. Larmer with a smart play, though, reached down and picked that up, threw it out to the neutral zone. They get a line change. Here's that last change, or a chance by Dale Hunter. Watch as this pass comes. Look at the Kristich right there, faking to pick up the puck. The Rangers go to Kristich. Hunter picks it up. He's all alone in the slot, gets a good shot away. There it is again. Look at everybody going to Kristich, the quick shot. And look at Kelly Miller crashing the net area. We've seen Dale Hunter do that in games 3 and 4 in particular. Richter likes to come out and challenge. He's out of that blue crease area. So if you give him a little nudge looking for the rebound, the referee's going to let that go. And Kelly Miller, nice job of trying to get in front of him and looking for the rebound.
Draw won by team captain Mark Messier of the Rangers. This is Bukaboom. Right back to Messier. Messier at center. Right wing pass for Kovalov. Top of the circle. Whistles one high and wide on the stick side.
Again, the line out this time is Graves, Kovalev, and Messier.
Bukaboom. Messier. Head there for Brian Leach. Poked off his stick. Caps aggressive here in the forechecking department. Jones with a hard hit on Leach. Leach out of the pack. Deflected off the stick of Poulin. And that one bounced in front of the Ranger net.
Good matchup for the Caps. They'd no better three players to be out there than Poulin, Konowalchuk, and Jones against his top-heavy offensive line for the Rangers.
Messier rolls to the corner. Slaney throws it near side. Jones will try to get a stick on it. He is pumped by Nemchinov. The crowd getting into it here now, trying to encourage the home squad. Hatcher fans on it, but Slaney moves it up the right wing boards. Poulin, cross ice, nobody there for Washington. Here come the Rangers, the Caps on a line change. The pass for Noonan off his stick. Tabaracci throws to the far side. Noonan to Greg Gilbert. Cote steps into Gilbert. Gilbert cannot make a pass. Pat Peak clears it. Junot hustles after it. Zubov, the Lone Ranger back. Junot and Zubov tie one another up. Laid off the boards. Near side. The zone clear. Hustling here, Nemchinov. Cote all over it. And the two go to the wall with Cote all over Nemchinov. Thrown in front of the net. A Capital knocked to the ice next to Tabaracci. That was Mike Ridley, but up ice comes Riki. Riki across the line. Goes to the open corner, and it's picked up by Kevin Lowe.
Better dump in right there by Riki as the Capitals go for a line change. Rangers had a good rush when the Poulin line went off because Dave didn't get the puck in deep. He threw it across the blue line. They were able to move up quickly.
Caps have played a strong second period. There have been no goals. It's still 1 goal. Rangers lead. Anderson getting help there. You see Anderson get hit?
No.
All right.
Could you give me a shot at Mike Ridley on the bench, Bill, please? Once Burridge leaves, maybe we can focus in on him. Got to look at the Capitals bench. The hitting starting to pick up in this hockey game. Keith Jones with a bone rattler on that last shift. Jeff Buchanan as well following up. Mike Ridley somewhere on that bench, Jeff. You want to talk about him as a sore right shoulder coming into the game. Always plays through the injuries, and on the last play, he knew he was going to be hit by Brian Noonan right in front of the Capitals net, but had to clear the puck. And right there, he took the hit to make the play as he was leveled just as he let that puck go, but got it out of the zone.
Dave Poulin wins the draw. The puck scooped up by Leach, and the Rangers have it under the zone. It's Kovalov on the right wing. Kovalov pulls away from a Capital forward, and a possible hit. Kovalov from the corner throws it in front off a stick, played far side, and the lead pass for Joey Junot. Poulin held up there by Messier, knocked to the ice, following through, and play called on the offside.
Little interference run by Mark Messier, very common. Player trying to jostle at the blue line, straddle, stay onside, but Messier with his good strength knocked Poulin over, forced him to the offside. You look at Alexei Kovalev, been talked about throughout this series, has played very well offensively, had a weak defensive game in Game 4. Now Mike Keenan shifting the lines around a little bit, taking him away from the center ice position where he has been successful, and putting him back on the right wing where he's played for the bulk of the 2 seasons with the New York Rangers.
He was a -2. And very much faced some criticism from Coach Mike Keenan after Game 4 and prior to Game 5 tonight.
And not that the Ranger other lines cannot score, but I'll tell you, if the Caps can keep that Messier line off the board, they're going to be in good shape.
Tikkanen off the net, played in front, and that one whistled wide of the open corner. Tabaracci did not see it until the last possible second. Hatcher on the backhand, sends it up the boards, and then it's chopped to the line, but not up. Zubov in the corner, that's as a Ranger was knocked down in front of Tabaracci, and it is a holding penalty against Washington that will put the Rangers on the power play. Remember, the Capitals have scored shorthanded here tonight. We've yet to see a power play goal.
The only thing is, the man who scored shorthanded is going to head to the penalty box. Kevin Hatcher with the hold on Steve Larmer. Good work around by the New York Rangers. The miss clear by Dale Hunter. The point at the puck at the right point. There's the work by Hunter and Tikkanen. Good defensive position by Dale Hunter. And here's a look at the penalty. Puck work down low. There's Zubov. There's Larmer right in front, hauled down by Kevin Hatcher. And Rangers go back on the power play.
7:32, the time of the holding penalty against the Caps team captain. Rangers were 0 for 2 on the power play in the first period. On the shot clock, New York with an edge by 9, 23-14. Rick Tabaracci has been very strong since replacing Don Beaupre. After Beaupre was victimized for a third time early on in the first period. Tabaracci coming in cold, very sharp early. As a result, has stayed in the nets. Messier. Leach winds up with a shot deflected high and wide. Leach with a pair of assists. Actually, 3 assists in the hockey game. In front, off the point, Leach fanned on his shot. He's assisted on all 3 goals.
And last control by the Rangers. Messier had a lot of time to walk out of the right corner, Jeff, especially a left-handed shot. Could have been a good shot on Tabaracci. Chose to pass. Play was broken up.
Along the right wing board, that's Larmer. The pass for Messier. Broken up by the Capitals. They hold on to it as long as possible, and then it's rolled to the corner by Kelly Miller. Ridley will pick it up. He is hit along the boards by Mark Messier. Miller and Ridley. Penalty killing up front. Pote and Riki on the back line. We should point out Sean Anderson receiving some help from Stan Wong in the Capitals dressing room. And when we learn the extent of the injury, we'll pass it along. But the Caps already short-staffed on the back line have lost Sean Anderson. Kovalov. Ryan Noonan. Squeezed out along the board. Still able to make it through with the puck in the corner now. We're looking at a 36-second manpower advantage. Caps try to clear. Leach stays at the line. Throws it near side. Kovalov. Top of the circle. Traffic in front of Tabaracci. Thrown in front, knocked down by the Capitals and cleared by Connor Walchuk.
Earlier on the penalty killer, Mike Ridley was sprung into the middle of the ice, Jeff. Miller could have put the puck to him for a scoring chance. Chose to get it out right there. Dave Poulin thinks offense, doesn't get the puck out.
Kristich on the turnover, tried to throw it in front. Off a skate. Excellent penalty killing once more from the Capitals here in the second period. They've killed it off with Hatcher out of the box, and he now gets aggressive and heads into the offensive zone, only to see the Rangers come away. Noonan away from a hit from Jason Woolley. Jumping up here is Slaney with Joey Junot. Bounces it off the boards. Played behind the net by Richter. Picked up by Pat Peak, and he tried to shovel it into short side. Peak with some good hustle there from a sharp angle. Stick to side. Comes back to Joey Junot. Junot throws it on the right wing board. That's Kristich. Kristich a centering pass. Picked off by Karpatsev. On the turnover, Kristich, who's hit hard by Brian Noonan. Hatcher is dumped. He is down and in quite a bit of pain. But the Caps will get a power play. Tabaracci out of the net. 6 attackers on. Washington with 6 skaters, and Tabaracci on the bench, touched up by Richter. A Washington power play would return. 3-2, Rangers in front. Bill, can you give me Glenn Anderson on the New York bench, please? Sean Anderson back on the Capitals bench yet? I don't see him. There's Anderson right there. Now look at Glenn Anderson, benched by Mike Keenan here in the second period. 88 playoff goals, 113 assists. Scored 7 times for Toronto last year and assisted on 11 others in 21 games. He has but 1 assist in the playoffs and was denied on a clear-cut breakaway in period 1.
Nice save by Rick Tabarachi. You hear a little cheer in the back. They showed Nick Fatile, former New York Ranger, up on the telescreen. Still very popular, don't forget, from the New York area. And, great guy, Nick Fatile.
The year was 1979. The Rangers thought they were going to win a cup. They ran into the Montreal Canadiens, won game 1, lost the next 4. Nick Fatile was part of that hockey club.
Yeah, remember that Mother's Day 1979 afternoon game was the Rangers' lone victory, that first game in Montreal.
Karpatsev off for slashing, Caps with the extra attacker, 0 for 2 in period 1. Mike Ridley onto the right wing. Pat Peake rolls it to the corner. We've received word that Sean Anderson has returned after some minor repairs. And that's good news. The Caps can go forward another injury.
Not only that, but Anderson's been playing well. Has a goal so far here tonight. Was instrumental in killing off that 5-on-3 penalty the other night in game 4.
Here's Hatcher. In across the line, throws it on the wing for Burridge, over skates it. Caps will try to save it. Here's a break for Mark Messier. Messier had it poked off his stick with a long reach from Kevin Hatcher. Good play there by the Caps team captain, and then for good measure, knocks Messier to the ice. Caps come back. Neutral ice play. Jason Woolley. Woolley on the back line with Slaney. 59 seconds left in the Karpatsev penalty. Woolley sends it ahead for Juneau. Beyond him, gets by Hunter and picked up by Kevin Lowe, and it's an icing call against the Capitals while they have the man advantage.
Now Capitals, Kevin Hatcher with a great second effort coming back, poke checking the puck from Mark Messier. Then a big hit down in the corner as they came up ice. Hatcher went to the bench area. Jason Woolley was rushing the puck. Here's a look at it. Messier has position. There's that long reach. Good second effort, and watch Hatcher, fatigued at the end of a shift, comes in, gives a good shot to Mark Messier, takes him out of the play. They move up ice. Hatcher would go to the bench. Woolley, though, circled back, tried to make a pass up the middle of the ice. And that resulted in the icing call and a face-off to the left of Rick Tabarachi.
Kevin Hatcher on the Washington bench. Dale Hunter set for the draw with Tikkanen. He has scored what is now the difference in the hockey game, the 3rd goal in that first period.
I'd like to see the Caps at least generate one good scoring chance on Mike Richter. Although they have not had a lot, I still do think has looked sharp in this second period. That one where he stopped behind the net, left it for Pat Peake, didn't look around.
Christian on the right wing for Juneau, couldn't control the pass, and the Rangers dump. 8:04. Tabarachi to Cote in the corner. Christian kicks it back behind his own net. Tabarachi out to play it away from Steve Larmer. Backhanded up the right wing board. Saved by Kevin Lowe at the point. Again, Tabarachi getting aggressive. Bumping Larmer and making the play to the near side. Cote for Washington. Leads ahead for Slaney. Dances away at center. Knocked off his stick by that toe. 2 seconds left in the Karpatsev penalty. Rangers have killed it off. Zubov steps in front of his own net. The pass here. Mateau, left wing, too far. Actually off the stick of Kovalov, and it's swept along the right wing board. Mateau denied entry by Hatcher. Bouncing puck. This is Anderson away from a hit. John Anderson now feeds Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher jumps up. Gets it to Poulin, who rolls it into the corner. Ranger crowd Try to encourage the home team. It's been a scoreless second. All 5 goals coming in period 1. Hatcher. Poulin. Dave Poulin. Throws it on the right wing, too far for Todd Krieger. Bukaboom. Steps into Konowalchuk along the board. Carried away by Noonan. Caps on this turnover. Krieger feeds to the point. Off the boards for Poulin. Chopped right back in. Jason Woolley will try once more. Woolley sends it up the middle. Cut on by the Rangers, who control. Nemchina. Smooth skating, Ranger forward. Along the right wing, around the net. Throws it in front. Tabaracci the save. No further play. 6:15 left to go. Second period. New York 3. The Washington Capitals 2. I have it. Tell me when you want it. Jeff Sean Simpson rejoining you here on Paramount 20. The story in the hockey game. 3 goals in the first 8 minutes and 57 seconds. Chases Don Beaupre from the nets. Both Capital goals scored by defenseman Kevin Hatcher on the shot from inside his own blue line, beating Mike Richter, and Sean Anderson with the other goal. Ryan Leach with 3 assists, and Mark Messier with an assist on one of the Ranger goals to extend his point-scoring streak to 9 games in the playoffs.
John Anderson, who injured himself somewhere in this second period, went to the dressing room, was out on that last break skating around. If you remember late in the season, Jeff, he injured his ankle. And the way he was turning back and forth is definitely some sort of leg injury, maybe related to that.
Hatcher out of the pack. Hit hard by Larmer, but not before he makes the pass. Kelly Miller deals it ahead. Hunter on the left wing. Throws it behind the net. Moved around, off the boards. Kristich tries to pull it away. Kristich with some good effort there. Bukaboom. Rangers come away. Tikkanen and Matteau. Saved by Tabaracci, the quick feed. And again, Rick Tabaracci likes to play the puck. And he sent the Capitals away as Hunter gets tied up with Esa Tikkanen. And Tikkanen almost hitting Andy Van Hellemond on the follow-through. That could have proved to be costly there. Kovalov, touch pass to Messier. Stood up along the board. Anderson throws it ahead. Here come the Caps, Pete and Mike Ridley. Ridley bumped from behind, but not before he gains the offensive zone. Randy Burridge along the right wing. Away from Adam Graves. Gives to Ridley. Thrown in front of the backhand. Anderson plays right back behind the net, where Ridley will wrestle with Kevin Lowe. Adam Graves held up by Randy Burridge. Ridley from the corner. Dances his way away from Zubov. Riki with a wrist shot, sailing high and wide of the net. Ridley plays it. Zubov all over him. Pat Pete held up by Messier. Burridge digs it free. Burridge held up by Kevin Lowe. Pat Pete to Ridley. Ridley held off by Zubov to 2. Wrestled along the boards, gets some help from Messier. He's squeezed out by Burridge. Thrown to the open side and hammered back in by Riki. Delayed offside. The Caps have cleared it. And now come right back after New York.
Now, great work by Ridley, Peak, and Burridge right there.
Messier dumps Keith Jones, and here comes a penalty. Jones tripping over the blue line as much as he tripped over Mark Messier. And a penalty here will give the Caps a power play.
No doubt about that one. Yeah, no doubt about it. Keith Jones forcing the issue right at the blue line. A little burst of speed between 2 Rangers. Messier puts a light stick on him. Here it is, a quick pass by Juneau, and before that puck even gets to Jones, he's down on the ice. Tikkanen and Dale Hunter battling. There it is along the boards. Both players lose their helmet on the collision. Little pushing and shoving, a couple of gloves. Hunter will move out. There's Andy Van Helleman, and there's a swing by Tikkanen. Almost catching him with that high stick. Dale Hunter continuing into the play. Great work down low, though, by that line of Ridley, Burridge, and Peak. But give the Rangers credit at the same time. Kept all three to the outside for that whole shift and did not allow them to rotate that puck out of the corner and get a shot on goal or even a scoring chance on Mike Richter.
2 for tripping. Messier in the box. The Caps have the power play.
You have to wonder if Messier's staying out for a little too long on that last shift, Jeff. He was out there. Caps putting out pressure, working along the boards, takes a lot out of you. Puck comes to the blue line. They turn it over again, and before he can get to the bench and get a fresh center iceman out there, has to put a stick on Keith Jones, and that's the belly box.
Caps on the power play. Anderson on the back line with Kevin Hatcher. Bounces it off the boards. Keith Jones to Joey Juneau. Juneau, Anderson, he and Hatcher on the back line. They've each scored a goal. Screen in front on Richter, thrown in front of the net. Larmer getting away from Sean Anderson, takes a hard hit. At center ice along those boards, and Anderson still looking down, testing that ankle. Up ice, Joey Juneau with a burst of speed across the line. Tries to split the defense. The pass for Hatcher. Comes to the point, and on the turnover, a 2-on-1 for New York. Tikkanen winds up with a shot. Oh my! He had Tabaracci beat, and he wrung it off the post. Now it's Washington's turn. Dale Hunter across the line. Passes for Juneau. Here's Cote. Hatcher with a one-timer. That one went off the side of the net.
Traffic in front of Richter. Hatcher lets that puck go from the left side, now out of his sight. But there's no way he saw that puck, just came across. Hatcher had a little bit on the short side, but puts it off the side of the goal. And talk about close, that's a Tikkanen on that 2-on-1. Turned into a 2-on-2. Tikkanen enters the zone. Watch the Capitals defender back off, and then there's the shot. Watch Tabaracci come around, just swinging. Look at that, Sean Anderson not forcing a 2-on-2, and Tikkanen had Tabaracci beat. But Tabaracci would then turn and push that puck into the slot area. Caps move back up ice for some good end-to-end action. There it is, that quick swipe.
He had no idea where it was until the last second, and fortunately didn't knock it back into his own net.
Anderson really playing the pass. I'm sure that sore ankle bothered him a little bit, edging back and forth, playing between the two. But it really should have went to Tikkanen, as he had a lot of time to let that big slapper go.
So, Hatcher remains out of the power play. Now paired with Cote, Pat Peak, Dmitry Kristich, and Mike Ridley up front for the Capitals. McTavish and Graves penalty killing with Messier in the box. Kevin Lowe and Zubov paired on the back line. Here comes Pat Peak, the first-year Capital across the line, held up by Zubov and Graves. Near corner, Lowe tied up along the wall. Caps try to dig it free, but Graves able to clear it. Here's McTavish trying to take it away from Cote. McTavish along the right wing. 29 seconds left. Deals to Adam Graves, a backhand shot on the stick side. And the Rangers continually going for that stick side on Tabaracci. They must have the book on him. Or at least they think.
They probably got the goalie handy book, which on any goaltender, shoot to the glove side about a foot off the ice. It's the best place to put a puck on anybody.
Here's Kristen. The pass to Ridley. Pat Peak unable to save it at the line. And with 2:10 remaining in the second period, 1 second remains of the Messier penalty. Rangers 3, the Washington Capitals 2.
Now, without a doubt, the Rangers have gone into more of a defensive-oriented game in this second period. So far, only 3 shots on goal. You look at Craig McTavish, good hustle on the boards, working with Sylvain Cote. Killing off valuable time, and then the quick centering pass to Graves. Cuts to the middle, and then the good, quick backhander. And one reason he's going to that stick side, when you're coming off of the left wing and you have the goaltender going one way on that backhand, usually the best way to put it is back the other way. Tough for a goaltender with his momentum shifting one way to try and make a save to that stick side as it just missed wide.
Devils and the Bruins tied up in their series 2-2, playing in the Meadowlands. And on a Giant Food scoreboard, New Jersey 2, Boston nothing. Face-off forced in the Rangers zone. The word from the Boston Bruins dressing room is that both Ray Bourque and former cap Ally Afraidy both are playing with injured knees, and both have been affected throughout this series, not at 100%.
Well, without a doubt, one of the strengths of the New Jersey Devils is their size, and playing in that small Boston guard. Boston does not have the size to match up with the Bobby Holik, Mike Pelusos, Randy McKay. They play in a line, and that puts an awful lot of pressure on guys like Raymond Bourque and Ally Afraidy, who not only have to be counted on offensively, but have to play strong defensively as they're two of the better sized Bruins.
Stay with us. Our second intermission guest, an old friend, John Davidson, Ranger telecaster, will join me. Get his thoughts on the hockey game in the series. Bukaboom goes ahead for Adam Graves. Puck stripped by Hatcher and Slaney. Graves gets up slowly, favoring his shoulder, but he's right back into the play. Odd hit on Burridge by Bukaboom. Slaney, top of the circle, winds up, and that one deflected up into the press area to the left of Mike Richter. And there were many, many members of the Britain press that were ducking for cover there.
I can see where they put this face-off. I thought Kelly Miller was the player that tipped that. Both Graves and Miller, man on man. Graves with the position. Here's a look at the last rush. Rangers put some pressure. There's Graves hauled down. Looks like he goes down hard either on the left shoulder or maybe caught a stick up high. Yeah. Kevin Hatcher once again with a high stick. His third of the hockey game. No call.
1:21 left to go in the second period. The shot clock favorite. The New York Rangers at 26-16. But on the scoreboard, a whale of a hockey game with New York in front. 3-2. From the draw. Rangers come away. Across the line, Matteau works on Slaney, who pokes it off his stick. Matteau saves it at the line. Larmer throws it in front. Zubov sails one high and wide, way up into the crowd.
Okay, Zubov with a good chance from that high slot. Again, a puck is redirected before it gets to Rick Tabarachi. Dale Hunter, I tell you, needs a better chin strap on that helmet. That feisty style he plays, that helmet's off every shift. Here's a look at that last rush. Look at the work by Kevin Hatcher, the slash by Larmer, then Hatcher holding on to the stick. Matteau dumps it into the corner. Puck will work right back to the right point. Here's Zubov winding up. And there's Dale Hunter getting a stick on it, deflecting it over the glass. What a year Sergei Zubov has had. With Stefan Matteau, played strong hockey for the Rangers since being acquired from the Chicago Blackhawks.
Dale Hunter and Essa Tikkinen set for the draw, top of the circle in the Washington zone to the left of Tabarachi. On the faceoff, Larmer goes to the head along the right wing boards. Works free now with less than a minute to go in the second period. Juneau Kristen jumping up Cote, but Tikkinen skates it away. Feeds to Matteau. Larmer bumped by Cote. Tabarachi leads for Hatcher. Right wing Kristich looks for Hunter. And Hunter steps into Leach. And play's been whistled down.
The linesman coming over there quickly. No doubt about it. Hunter coming straight across, trying to level Brian Leach. It looks like Hunter got the worst of that last exchange. There's Hunter and Tikkinen working together. Tikkinen shifting. Look at that. Cross check. Retaliation right up in the throat area. And watch Dale Hunter in retaliation. Not long after that. There it is. Putting the hit on Leach. And Leach leaning just at the last second. And Dale gets the worst of that encounter. Big time cross check though put on Hunter by Essa Tikkinen.
Watch this. Dale Hunter comes to play every night and still talking to Esa Tikkanen as they line up for the faceoff. Look at Hunter. He wants Tikkanen to drop it. From the faceoff. Kote. Hatcher. Kristen. Can't get a stick on it. Backhanded by Bukaboom into the Washington zone. Kote beats it ahead. Hunter and Bukaboom fight. Leach in front of Richter. Throws it ahead on the right wing. Neutralized play. Hatcher. Junot looks for Kristich on the turnover. Leach dances his way by Joey Junot, and Larmer and Hunter have got to be separated.
We're going to get coincidental minor penalties right here. Tied up at the blue line. Larmer arguing with Andy Van Helleman. So, as usual, Dale Hunter mixing it up in back-to-back shifts. So work along the boards with Larmer. There he is, gives him a little shot. Little pushing and shoving. Then there's the push by Dale Hunter, knocks Larmer over. And Van Helleman in position to make the call. There he is again, running at Jeff Bukaboom. Quite a shift for Dale Hunter. Cross-checking penalties assessed to both Hunter and Larmer, so we'll have 4-on-4 action for the next 13.1 seconds, and then to start this third and very important period.
3 goals have been scored in this hockey game, 4-on-4. One shorthanded goal by Washington, the other even strength marker by Adam Graves, the first goal of the hockey game. Graves has a pair. Hatcher with one of the 2 goals for Washington with the puck now. Skates to the line, playing keep away from Adam Graves as the horn goes to end a close checkish second period. In the early going, at least a little more wide open than it was in the last 10 minutes. Let's
Quick highlights. Taking in post shot. Graves backhand. That was just wide. Okay, I told you. You need the cards or?
You know the highlights? Wow. I'm tired.
Yeah. Yeah, what, Bill? Yeah, what? What do you want? All right. Okay. You don't have that Dale Hunter shot on Richter, do you?
So what is it, Tikkanen and then
And Graves. Backhand. Graves backhand. 15 back.
so 2 saves by Tamarachi, huh?
Yeah. 8, 7,
Ah.
6.
The ice has been resurfaced here at Madison Square Garden in New York. An exciting 40 minutes of play into the books. A 1-goal hockey game. New York Rangers 3. The Washington Capitals 2. Caps facing elimination. What a strong effort here tonight from a Washington perspective. Jeff River and Sean Simpson rejoining you. Sean, your impressions of that second?
Well, you look at that second period, Capitals came out, got a lot of work in the Rangers zone, but give the Rangers credit, unlike the first period, shots on goal end up being in favor of the Rangers 7-4. So even after all that time they spend in their own zone or in the Rangers zone working the puck down low, Rangers played very strong defensively. So it's going to take even a little better effort by the Capitals in this third period to turn that hard work into scoring chances.
Again, the second period was scoreless. We're going to look at some of the highlights from a very tight checking second half of the second period. And here's Esa Tikkanen.
Here's a 2-on-2 situation. Sean Anderson backs off, and here's a shot by Tikkanen. Winds up, has Rick Tabaracci beat to the blocker side. Tabaracci then spins and clears it. But I'll tell you, that was a great opportunity right there.
Again, the situation here, Rick Tabaracci coming on in the first period after the Rangers 8 minutes plus into the hockey game had built up a 3-1 lead, beating Don Beaupre for 3 goals. Tabaracci has yet to be beaten.
Well, Tabaracci's played a strong game. I thought his best period was later in the first, that big save off of Glenn Anderson. But at the same time, when you don't have a lot of action and it comes in waves, your team is putting on a lot of pressure, it's in a close hockey game, those are the games you have to stay in mentally. You get a couple of opportunities, and each time he was tested, one off the post, but still, he was there and made the saves.
Speaking of being tested, we're going to get a look at another scoring opportunity. Again, Tabaracci coming through with a save.
Well, Adam Graves will end up getting this scoring chance. Good work by McTavish. He'll end up passing it to Graves. Watch Graves, though, as he comes off of the left side. He'll cut to the middle to the backhand. Anybody out there that wants to score goals, this is the place to go. Tabaracci's moving over to the far post, all his movement, and it's hard for a goaltender to bring that gravity and all your body back the other way. Graves thought he had that open side, but give Tabaracci credit too. You see the position he had, didn't overplay the puck, and was pretty much square on Graves.
All right, got to talk to you about conditioning. And one thing that John Davidson said here just a few minutes ago, that this might be the best conditioned New York Ranger Hockey Club in a long, long time. But also, JD talking in terms of the Capitals conditioning, and there's no question we are in for a whale of a third period.
Well, no doubt about it. The Capitals are in great condition. They've showed it through their third period records, leading. That's something on home ice that, hey, you see that throughout the National Hockey League. It's confidence, it's conditioning. But let's face it, you have guys like Dale Hunter, Dave Poulins. They don't want this next 20 minutes to be the last of their season. They're going to come out, they're going to try to win this hockey game, and no doubt about it, we're going to have a good third period.
All right, folks, buckle up the seatbelts and stay with us. It's a one-goal hockey game. The Paramount 20 intermission stats now, they're brought to you by Roy Rogers. Stop by Roy's today for a delicious breakfast at a terrific new low price. Again, one-goal game, Rangers lead. Shots on goal, 26 for New York, 16 for Washington. Both teams have yet to score a power play goal. Caps 0 for 4, Rangers are 0 for 3, and they've given up a shorthanded marker. Penalties, 7, 14 minutes in total for Washington, 8, 16 minutes in total for the New York Rangers. We'll return, Giant Food Out of Town scoreboard, and period 3.
Diving. There's that guy from Matt. See that guy right there, Ben? You see this guy right here in the glasses? See him right here in the glasses, sunglasses? That's the editor of National Lampoons.
What are you looking at?
The guy in the glasses right there. He followed the Rangers. He followed the Rangers around for a year, and then wrote a book about the whole year.
He was on that team.
Yeah, JD, I know.
JD was on that team. Hey, good interview. JD wants to know where his watch is.
It's on his wrist.
We'll send it to you. It's got a Capitals logo in the middle.
Hey, Bill. When we come back, can we just get a quick shot of Jim Schoenfeld? That's what I meant. somewhere, I don't know. No, no. What do you want?
What the record is at
33-2 or
Jeff Rimmer, Sean Simpson rejoining you here for third period play on Paramount 20, and the fans stand as one to salute the hometown New York Rangers, who have a one-goal lead as we get set to play the third period. On the giant Food out-of-town scoreboard, a look at the other Eastern Conference semifinal. New Jersey leading Boston 2-0 in the third. Corey Millen is first from Bob Carpenter, and the former Capital has a goal, his first from Lemieux and Chorsky. 1938 of the second period, 2-0 Devils lead in the pivotal fifth game of the Meadowlands. Here it is 3-2, and the third period underway. Cabaracci sweeps it from in front of the net. Freaky to Kelly Miller, stepped into, but carrying through is Mike Ridley. Feeds to Cote. Cote to the net. Scores! Sylvain Cote! It's all tied up.
Well, Mike Richter, finally a good opportunity on him, comes out on the angle, and Sylvain Cote just flat out beating him. What a great pass, though, to spring Cote free off of that right side. It'll come to the blue line. The quick out by Miller. Ridley jumps in. It's a 2-on-1. Look at Graves hustling back, but Leach overplays it. There's the shot high over the shoulder, and forget about the fans getting into it. 27 seconds in, we're tied at 3. Here it is. What a nice pass. And look at Leach right there, though. Gets caught flat-footed, not expecting that pass. And Cote just flat out beats Mike Richter.
His first of the playoffs, and what a big time to get the goal. Sylvain Cote pulls the trigger, and it's the fourth goal scored. 4-on-4 hockey in this game.
Really think Leach was trying to stand up at that blue line, Jeff. Expect that to turn into a flat 2-on-2, but Ridley with that quick pass.
Here the Rangers come. Leach held off, taken to the boards. Cabaracci sweeps it ahead. Walchuk off the board for Dave Poulin. He's got to stop. Poulin now at center ice. Knocked off his stick by Kovalov. Or excuse me, that's Matteau. The Caps have cleared the zone.
Caps would have had a chance for another 2-on-1, but Poulin trying to take that puck off of the glass, wouldn't settle down for it. Forced to just hold on to it.
Cote from Ridley. We're tied at 3. Ridley to Hatcher. Freaky throws it to the open corner. Out of the net, Richter moves it along the boards to Esa Tikkanen. Taken away by Kelly Miller, and a shot in the blocker pad save by Richter. And the crowd mildly applauding. Richter there. Here's Kovalov with a shot. Cabaracci knocked down by Tikkanen, who's slow to get out. Banked off the boards and out of the zone.
You can hear some yelling from Cabaracci. He's looking for a call, feeling he was interfered by Tikkanen.
Kevin Hatcher. Away from Brian Noonan. Mike Ridley. Shot by Keith Jones, and the stick save Mike Richter. Now here come the Rangers. Ryan Noonan off the skate of Cote, picked up by Steve Larmer along the right wing board. Larmer throws it in front, and Cabaracci will cover up.
We got a penalty coming up here. Nemchinov, who was following through in the slot, was hauled down by Dale Hunter. So the Caps, after tying this hockey game, are now going to have to kill off a 2-minute power play. Here it is. Larmer off of the right side, coming through the slot area is Nemchinov. Riki over to play it. There it is, just to the left of the screen. Hunter hauls him down as Cabaracci jumps on that loose puck. So a huge power play coming up right here.
2 minutes left holding. Time 2:05. Hunter 2 for holding.
Hunter gets the game. 2 for holding. At 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Hunter off in the box, and fans, let's remind you right now, if a game 6 is necessary at the US Air Arena, it would be played on Wednesday night. And operators are standing by right now to take your calls, and they'll stay on the job tonight until midnight. Both will open at 9 a.m. tomorrow. 202, 432 seat, and 301 386-7080. Game 6, if necessary, back at the US Air Arena.
John Davidson, your guest between periods, talking about the Rangers' confidence when leading after 2 periods and their conditioning. Let's not forget Jim Schoenfeld, the practices he's put through the Capitals through since he's taken over, as well as the extra players, how hard he skated them. Let's face it, Jeff, hey, it's psychological, but at this point in the season, we've got 20 minutes left of hockey. I don't think conditioning enter into it. It's all heart.
Well, there's no question that the Capitals, to a man, feel that this team has very little similarities to former Capital teams. They feel this team does have character. They feel this team never quits. And their performance tonight certainly reflective of that. Poulin away from Messier, and the zone is clear. Ranger power play 0 for 3 tonight. It's a 3-3 hockey game. On the right wing, Larmer steps away from a hit from Ricky. Tabaracci to the line, but not up. Adam Graves, Leach with a wrist shot. This one deflected high into the crowd.
Dave Poulin with good hustle, getting out to the point. Leach with that good quick snapshot. Knew he didn't have enough time to let a slapper go. But still, Dave Poulin hustles out, tips it high over the glass. And what a job this penalty killing unit has done. First, Poulin and Konowalchuk, they're the first guys out there. And not bad combination to come back with Mike Ridley and Kelly Miller, who as a tandem the past few seasons have been some of the tops in the National Hockey League. So great set of 4 forwards for the Caps to put out there against this tough Ranger power play.
Mike Ridley. And Messier set for the draw, won by Messier. Leach picks it up in center. Cross ice pass, Kovalov right back to Leach. Leach to Messier. Capitals very aggressive in their penalty killing here with Kelly Miller and Mike Ridley. Kovalov. Leach. Far right wing. Pulled in, played by Tabaracci, and he will backhand it the length of the ice into the Ranger zone.
There's the strength of Tabaracci, that puck handling ability, even on the backhand, gets it high enough to get it out.
Leach to the net. Sticked aside by Tabaracci. Messier stands on his shot. Played by Ricky. Ricky to center. Just rolls it in away from Kovalov and then heads off to the bench.
You can see Ridley on that shift, and so far in the hockey game, I don't know if he has a brace on, Jeff, but you can see how hard or how tight he's holding that right shoulder to the body. A little tighter than normal. That was the one he injured in game 4.
Hatcher on the turnover. Steps up to the line and then rolls it wide of the net. 16 and a half minutes left to go. Regulation time. Perhaps a premonition here at the morning skate, because on the scoreboard it said 3-3 Washington and the Rangers. Draw your own conclusion from there.
Is that something you saw personally, or?
Tikkanen, McTavish across the line. Shot by Zubov, stick save, the rebound swept to the line and out. Esa Tikkanen. McTavish.
I'll even, Brian.
Hold ahead for Zubov. Team's back at full strength. Caps have killed off another penalty. Rangers 0 for 4 in the power play.
Even.
Hatcher. Slaney. Hunter. Hunter hit along the wall by Greg Gilbert. Puck squirts free back into the Capitals' end. Joey Junot to Ricky. Pass ahead here, played by Hunter. Hunter. Up by Leach. The 2 to the wall. Lukavu and Leach doing the job. Caps on the turnover. Cote shot. Bounces wide of the net. Dale Hunter in the slot. Cote. Richter the save. He never saw it, but got the pad on it. Quick transition. Here comes Nemchinov. Hops off his stick and played by the Capitals. Hunter's at a long shift. Hustles up to center. Passes the line. Up by Kevin Lowe. Zubov. Kelly Miller. Rangers trying to freeze it along the board. Kovalov throws to the open corner.
Not that we shouldn't have expected it, but you can see that on that first shift by Dale Hunter, even though it was a long one. He was determined handling that puck, got it in twice all by himself.
Shot from a sharp angle, deflected by Tabaracci. And the Caps have cleared the zone. Here comes Kelly Miller. Knocked off his stick by Zubov, carrying through Todd Krieger. The blocker save by Richter. Gilbert Tikin at center. Knocked off his stick, and Kelly Miller dumps in.
You can hear the roar of the fans on that last rush. Zubov a little too cautious, backing off, had a one-on-one. Just gave up the zone and the blue line. Capitals were able to enter, no problem.
Caps roll it back into the zone. Jay Well. Tikin. Left wing, Matteau in full flight. Dances across the line. Away from Todd Krieger. In front for Larber. The pad save by Tabaracci. Here come the Capitals. Mike Ridley with Pat Peak and Todd Krieger. The three cross the line. Taken away by Karpatsev, and he's cleared the zone. Ricky on the turnover. Held off by Tikin. The two go to the boards. Karpatsev for Stefan Matteau. Jumping up here, Glenn Anderson. His first shift in a long time. Rick Tabaracci has played better than we've seen him maybe at any point this season. But he called as it was gloved ahead. 13:10 remaining regulation time.
Hey?
Huh?
79.
What's the question?
He registered a hat trick.
Who?
Ron Duguay. Caps have come out storming so far in this period. Some good pressure on Mike Richter has resulted in a goal, and here they are looking for the go-ahead. Dale Hunter with a quick pass out of the corner. Sylvain Cote with a quick shot. And Richter with Leach and Burge in front of him. Didn't even see it. And here's another one. Zubov had backed off of the blue line. Let Miller control. Drop pass to Todd Krieger. The shot from the outside. Easy blocker save.
Rangers dump in. Tabaracci plays it at the side of the net. Throws to the near corner. To the line, but not out. Leach with a shot. Low by Tabaracci. And I'll tell you what, Rick Tabaracci, the story of the hockey game. Very, very sharp in goal since replacing Don Beaupre.
You're in a 3-3 hockey game, Jeff. You've got under 13 minutes left. Those are pucks that have to get out. I know it was bouncy for Keith Jones out at the right point, but that was a simple pass. He was wide open, hops over his stick, and a shot on goal is put by Brian Leach. Tabaracci makes a save, but a shot on goal that should have never happened. What a period Dale Hunter had in period 2, and the Rangers put out Esa Tikkanen, who at the same time did a good job of shutting down Hunter in that second period, as they had numerous battles throughout that 20 minutes.
Hunter and Tikkanen set for the draw. Hunter wins it. Played by Hatcher, off the boards to center ice. Leach sends it back in. Hatcher skates it up. Tikkanen with Larmer going to the net. The save, the rebound. Skated away by Slaney. And an awfully good scoring chance for the Rangers there. But alertly, Slaney makes the play away from in front of the Capital net.
Tabaracci fielding that shot, just trying to concentrate on closing the pads. Didn't know where the rebound had gone. His former junior teammate in Cornwall, John Slaney, got to clear it though, just like old times.
Rangers controlling their own zone. Crowd again chanting for the hometown squad. They know if the Capitals can win this hockey game, this series is going to be awfully close. Of course, the Rangers will still lead it, as we mentioned, early on in this hockey game. Can the Capitals win tonight? You bet they can, and if they do, I have this feeling we'll be back here for game number 7. And in the 7th game, there is no home ice advantage. Ricky, Christie, dances his way to center. Sends it in wide of the net. Richter out to Flood. Leaves there for Zubov. 11:40 left regulation time. Here's Zuba. Across the line, leads the Rangers in deep. Now turns, centers the pass. Hatcher takes his man to the wall. Thrown in front. Here's Zuba with a shot, sails wide. Wrigley throws it around the board to the point, but not out. Ricky tried to golf it out and does. Ryan Leach. Head to McTavish off the bench. Bumped by Kelly Miller. The Caps clear it in. 11 minutes, 6 seconds left as McTavish and Gilbert, 2-on-2 cross the line, poked away, alertly there by Sean Anderson, and he is sent flying. McTavish is flushed. That one deflected wide. Tabaracci didn't see it. Rangers have it. Leach with a fake shot. Goes to the net. Leach with a backhand. Puck in front. Tabaracci a stick on it. Loose puck in front. Covered up by Mike Ridley, who sprawled all over top of his goaltender, Rick Tabaracci. No further play.
Well, great pressure being put on by the New York Rangers. Puck goes into a scrum in front, was loose in front of Tabaracci, but he finally holds on.
We'll be back.
LSD will do wonders.
Bill, we better line up a David Poland. Who's he? He said David Poland.
That's his son.
Let's see if we can. Let's ask what's his name? Bill Clement. If he can come on in the overtime. He's right up here with ESPN.
There's a look at that last scrum. Jones down. Leach comes to the middle, to the backhand. The shot. Tabaracci with a nice pad save. Puck in front of him, reaching for it. It'll finally be kicked into Tabaracci. And with the aid of Mike Ridley, he holds on. What about Rick Tabaracci, though? His frame of mind, Jeff, plays 2 regular season games against Ottawa, doesn't play that well, doesn't play the whole Pittsburgh series, doesn't dress for the bulk of the games, plays 1 game in this Rangers series, plays average, but hey, this is character when you come into a game where your teams are facing elimination and you come up with as big a game as Rick Tabaracci has. He's been a competitor tonight.
Sean Anderson behind the net. Tries to get it to Jones on the turnover. Tikkanen shoots. His shot is blocked. Hatcher has been slashed on the right hand, and there will be a Ranger penalty. Play has been called. Hatcher has been slashed, and let's see who gets the game.
Well, all of a sudden it's Esa Tikkanen for so many times, the talker and drawing people into penalties. And fitting that it's Tikkanen that this time heads to the penalty box. He's had run-ins with everybody, and that's his typical style game, and that's the reason the Rangers acquired him. As the play goes up ice, it's behind the play, a little pushing and shoving. There it is, the turn, try to fire. There's Tikkanen with the quick whack on Hatcher. There it is again, there it is. Not a bad job by Kevin Hatcher playing it up at the same time, lifting that right arm up quick, showing the referee, getting the call, and big power play here, Jeff. 10:23 left in this third period. We're all knotted up. That's also important when you look at the situation for Mike Keenan and his New York Rangers, Jeff. Esa Tikkanen's their top penalty killer, and he's the man in the penalty box, so they put Graves and Messier out there.
Well, we talked about the Ranger power play and the Capitals doing an excellent job penalty killing. We should point out that the Rangers penalty killing, no slouch, first overall in that department, and they've only limited the Capitals to 2 shots on goal in 4 power play opportunities. Dale Hutter behind the net, passes to Pat Pete. Pete right back to Hutter. Along the board, Junot. Slaney with a wrist shot, knocked down by Richter. Rebound! Bounces wide. Joey Junot on the half goal. Slaney Hatcher setting up, winds up. Richter the save, rebound. Pad Pete denied by Mike Richter. Tries to come again. Here come the Capitals. Again in front, only to see Messier send it to Leclerc.
Nice save by Richter, and at the same time, see how quick he was in position, came from his right to left. Forced the Capitals shoot wide.
Joey Junot. Mike Ridley. Squeezed out along the board. Junot upended. Here's Larmer, short-handed. Deals it to McTavish. McTavish, right circle. Tries to keep away from Cote. Deals it back to Zubov. 43 seconds left. Bouncing puck. McTavish couldn't get a stick on it. Cote denied. McTavish sends it in deep. Ranger fans again applauding the penalty-killing effort. Burdick hit by Leach. Nemchinov sends it down. This crowd electrified. Leach sends it down low, only to be denied by Randy Burridge. The feed to Kristich, right back to Burridge, and full flight across the line. Works on Vukovic. Loses the puck to see Ridley. A shot from the point by Slaney. Bounces wide of the net. Nemchinov again tries to clear the zone. Stopped by Hatcher. Rangers have killed off the penalty. Kristich hit by Vukovic.
I don't know how Hatcher kept that last puck in, Jeff. He pinched right down on Nemchinov. Somehow he did.
Messier looking for Nemchinov. Turned around on the play. Kristich. The fans looking for a penalty call.
And rightly so. Ridley was draped all over Nemchinov. No call by Van Helleren.
Kristich dumped and then kneed by Tikkanen while he was down. That one uncontested. Kristich and Tikkanen get tied up in front of the Ranger bench. Caps clear the zone. A Capital colliding with linesman Scampanello. That was Todd Krieger. Kelly Miller. Joe Ricci. Ricci's cleared the zone, banking it off the boards. This will be icing. We'll be back. Well, I don't think he'll come, but you can try.
Who's that?
And one other thing, Bill. If Foyle comes, I need a break. Sean will talk to him.
Oh, he's not going to feel comfortable doing that. Right?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be comfortable coming. That's what I'm saying. Huh?
I'm no good at those, Jeff. I know your throat's sore, but
I need a break, man. This game goes to overtime. This has been unbelievable. I haven't sat down yet. We better try to see if we can get David first here. Seven minutes and 24 seconds left in regulation time. Jeff Rimmer, Sean Simpson rejoining you here. And the Rangers, Kevin Lowe.
big hit behind the net by Todd Krieger. A couple of extra push and shoves. Without a doubt, the draw is becoming huge, and I'm sure for the bulk of the next 7 minutes, we'll see Dave Poulin and especially Dale Hunter out there at the same time. Hunter taking the bulk of the draws, but just in case he's thrown out, having Poulin out there.
Washington Capitals playing with determination and the intensity of a team certainly facing elimination, and they are giving it a quality effort tonight.
And I'll tell you, just as somebody watching this team after they were down 3-0, you couldn't help but to feel a letdown, but the way they responded in Washington the other night, they've come back here from down 3-1. It's been nothing short of great.
And the Rangers built up that 3-1 lead, 8:56 into period one.
Alexei Kovalev out there, back centering the line of Matteau and Steve Larmer. Played a little while with Adam Graves and Mark Messier. They switched the lines back. We get a look at Brian Leach. He's had a strong game. Did an excellent job on that last penalty kill. You can see his determination along the boards, going from one Capital to the other, playing the body, working that puck. And once the Capitals left the zone after that first pressure they had on their power play, the Rangers never let them back in. They clogged up that neutral zone, and their penalty killers did a great job.
Play underway, neutral ice. Steve Larmer throws it in. Tabaracci sets it up behind the net for Cote. Sylvain Cote away from Tikkanen. Cote now. The pass ahead for Hunter. Hunter on the wing for Burridge. His shot knocked down. Hunter tries to pick it up along the left wing boards, and it is Tikkanen who backhands it down into the Capitals' end.
Caps will make a bigger line change, but Burridge had come on as Poulin once they left the zone, went to the bench.
Roll down into the New York end. Icing waved off. Bukaboom bumps Scampanello, who's taken his own fair share of body checks in this hockey game. Hatcher from center. Backhands it away from Glenn Anderson. And it is an offside call. 6:23 remaining. We'll be back tied at 3. Who's going to get our intermission jet? Well, you realize there's only 6 minutes left now. He's still sitting there.
Who's that? I can't interview David though, Jeff. That's gonna look dumb. Hey? Have what?
I don't even think he's going to do it, but you better send him back with another game plan. One of the players. Jeff Rimmer, Sean Simpson rejoining you here. 6:23 remaining in regulation time. The Washington Capitals have the only goal of this third period. Sylvain Cote's first of the playoffs, and we've got a tie hockey game. McTavish and Hunter. Bukaboom. Bounces one wide of Tabaracci. Hatcher held off by McTavish. Along the left wing board, Junot sent flying. Christian on the turnover. Noonan. McTavish goes to the net. Noonan held off along the near board. Caps able to clear. Zubov. Leach. Bounces one wide. Slaney. Off the boards for Joey Junot. Answers his way out of the zone with a burst of speed. Junot now pulls up before dealing ahead there for Pat Peak, who sends it wide. Leach. Noonan. Away from Junot. Pass ahead for Zubov. Rangers and the Caps both change on the fly. Here's Messier, top of the circle. Sidesteps Riki and sends one wide. Hunter able to clear. Zubov for Kevin Lowe.
He was looking for Anderson. He was hauled down, but you can see Anderson barreling right off of that bench, driving through the hole before he was hauled down. Would have been in good position for that pass from Messier.
Kevin Lowe throws it into the corner. Cote from Tabaracci. 5 minutes remaining in the third period. And regulation time as Kelly Miller comes away. Miller to Hunter. Hunter now goes to the net. Hunter with a shot. Richter the same. Rebound. Left in front. Play continues. Riki through the scramble. Knocked down by the Rangers. Messier. Graves. The Rangers a little content here right now.
Well, that last
defensive hockey.
That last breakout trapped 3 Rangers. It was a 3-on-2. Kelly Miller forcing the issue. Did you see once they gained the blue line, he drove to the net? That opened up Hunter to move into the slot and get that shot. There was just too much traffic to get a good shot on Richter.
Here comes Ridley across the line. Looks for Keith Jones. Tipped away by Leach. And then hammered in by Hatcher. Karpatsev. Leach. Lead pass off the stick of Kovalov. Stefan Matteau. Wide of the net. Slaney. Hit hard guard by Matteau. Rangers can't save at the line. Dump it in, delayed offside. Rangers have cleared the zone. Jones on the turnover. Here's Kovalov. Dances his way, splits the defense, and Tabaracci got a piece of that one. Karpatsa to Leach. Caps on a line change. Leach to Kovalov. Winds up. Tabaracci save. Rebound. Brian Leach with Tabaracci down. And on the takeaway, Kevin Hatcher makes it to the line, but not out. For the Rangers again. Leach scores.
Well, what a hockey game Brian Leach has played. A couple of great opportunities. Caps have a chance to clear after the first one, but it's the combination of Zubov and Leach. And Leach this time makes no mistake with 3:28 left. Rangers regain the lead. There's the shot by Kovalev, saved by Tabaracci. A couple of moves by Leach. Puck will never get out front. Hatcher will take it, try to clear it. But Zubov pinching in, holds on, and there's the quick pass right back over to Leach. And with his great shiftiness, moves in and a quick snapshot to the blocker side. And the lead. Nice job by Leach to even be able to take that pass and spots the opening, and Caps are in a hole.
Ryan Leach, his 4th point of the night. 3 assists and this big, big goal.
Now Caps had the chance to clear. Hatcher did everything he could. He put it up off of the glass on the backhand, but just a good job by Zubov of pinching in on his right point, taking it with the glove, and in one motion sweeping it over to the open Leach on that left side.
Ryan Leach now with 17 points in the playoffs. He is second, trailing only Doug Gilmour, who has 19.
He's played a great game tonight, Jeff, both offensively and defensively.
What a hockey game. The Caps cannot bow their heads, and they're not. We still have 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in regulation time. And these Capitals are not quitters. Wrigley wide of the net. Boom away from Pat Pete. Saved at the line by Slaney. Keith Jones along the board. Bounced up. McTavish all over John Slaney, who's lost his helmet. Here's Cote across the line. Richter closes the pads and holds on.
There we get the Capitals crashing at the net. I think it was Dave Poulin, no, Keith Jones. There quickly is Sylvain Cote with the Capitals goal in this period, doing some magic of his own off of that right side. A couple of great moves. There it is, Sylvain Cote picking that puck up in the neutral zone, beats Leach. A couple of more quick moves. Richter out, makes the save. There's Tikkanen, and there's Jones running into him. And Jones is headed to the penalty box. We'll wait and see if there's a Ranger heading as well.
Oh, yes.
But Brian Noonan gonna head to the penalty box. Well, we've had a lot of goals on the 4-on-4 action, Jeff. And with 2:44 left, we're going to have 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes.
We've had 4 goals scored while the teams were playing 4-on-4. And we're looking at 2 minutes and 44 seconds showing on the clock, remaining in regulation time.
As we get down into the latter part of this period, the Caps, I'm sure, will pull goaltender Rick Tabaracci, and it'll turn into a regular power play 5-on-4 situation if they cannot get the equalizer for about the minute and a half mark. So they got a minute to work with. Look at the Capitals bench, their hard work. Craig Berube not seen a lot of ice time in this third period, but cheering on his teammates. Heads up play by Cote and Anderson on that last scrum in front of the net. Although their team was outnumbered, they saw nothing big was going to happen, stayed out at the point. That ensures that the faceoff will stay inside the zone to the left of Richter. So, Dale Hunter, Joey Juneau up front.
Slaney and Hatcher on the back line. Messier, Adam Gray, Leach, and Bookaboo. Hunter hit by Messier. Slaney throws it behind the net for Hunter. Dale Hunter upended, gets right back up. Speeds to Junot. Richter gets a piece of that one. Hunter hit by Messier, squirts free. Played by Bookaboo. Leach with it. The pass to Messier. Mark Messier, Ranger captain, dragging it before throwing it off into the corner. Rangers content here now, killing off the time remaining. 2:11. Hatcher. The pass to Ridley. Ridley's shot stopped by Richter. Kevin Lowe from Isa Tikkanen. Tikkanen picks it up along the board. Caps get back defensively. Tikkanen with a little spinorama goes down as he may have been clipped by a high stick from Kevin Hatcher. Play continues up ice. No penalty call. Anderson, Ridley on the backhand. Cote drills one. Tikkanen knocks it down. Cote. Anderson. Wide of the net. Away from Ridley by Kevin Lowe to Zubov. 1:30 left. The crowd on their feet. And Kevin Lowe banks it off the boards. Sends it into the Washington end. We will look here and see when Jim Shotfeld pulls Rick Tabaracci.
Now what you'd call a very veteran-like play by Kevin Lowe right there. Had a couple more steps to gain that red line. Did not. Dumps a puck in. That's going to give a face-off with 1:21 left. And I bet the Caps will call a timeout right here and take out the goaltender. They have the face-off. They'll have that opportunity to put the extra attacker on. Here's a look at that last play. Moving away, tough to see on that angle. There's Tikkanen continuing in that shift with the block on Sylvain Cote. Tikkanen complaining to line mate Steve Larmer, and there's Rick Tabaracci. And again, I'll bet you any money right here, Jeff, working that strap a little bit, delaying, giving his team a little bit of a rest, slowing the play down. Sure word coming from the bench. There's that strap, undoing it, doing it back up. There he is, look at that, look at how he's delaying. It's just a simple strap. Finally, Tabaracci's ready. And the Caps will not take him out, so they're going to wait and see if they win this draw, then put him to the bench. Dmitry Kristich looks like he's getting in position to come off the bench.
Still 4 on 4 for the next 37 seconds. 1:21 left to go. And again, the Ranger crowd on their feet. I'll tell you what, both teams have played their hearts out tonight. You'll never see better hockey than what we've seen displayed here at both ends of the ice. Terrific playoff hockey. Caps in the offensive zone. Tabaracci has to hold up as the Rangers roll it down. 1:05 left. Caps control. Hunter across the line. Tabaracci out of the net. The Caps have the extra attacker. In front, Dale Hunter. And he's held off by Brian Leach. Final minute of play. 52 seconds. Junot in front. Broken up by Adam Graves. Down. Junot gets it. Cote, out of the box come Jones and Noonan. The teams are at full strength. Hatcher on the backhand.
What a defensive play by Bookaboo. Peak wide open.
Hatcher off the point and Noonan will clear. One more rush up ice. You see the time remaining. Richter gloves it. Zubov away from Kristen. Bounces in front. Caps can't. To the net and charges the goaltender, Mike Richter.
Well, tough to see here, and I'll tell you, Mike Richter needs to be careful because his flexibility is the only thing holding him from ripping a knee right there. He was in the split position as the Capitals piled on. Now some pushing and shoving here. But a couple of great chances by the Capitals in the dying minutes. Here's the dump in. Richter will let Zubov try to play it. Pat Peak will hustle in, block it. Puck will come in front. There's the shot by Hatcher, and then there's the whack at the rebound, the pile in the crease area.
They just took a couple seconds off the clock. There was 13 seconds plus remaining, and I looked now at the clock for a second time, and only 12.8 seconds remaining. I wonder if the Capitals have seen that. Jim Schonfeld is on the bench. I believe he did. A few ticks came off the clock there.
They actually had it up to about 15 seconds. We're running it down for some reason. We'll wait and see where this face-off is going to be at the same time.
Jim Schonfeld is calling a timeout. Mike Richter, subject of some criticism throughout the season, despite an outstanding year. Questions as to whether or not he can be the goaltender to backstop the Rangers to a cup. Victimized by a poor goal early on, but he's come back. He and Tabaracci, outstanding.
Yeah, they played some great hockey. That Cote goal early in the period, a nice shot. But hey, doesn't matter, Jeff, how you play through the first 50 minutes. When your team has a lead and you're in the dying minutes, that's when you've got to come up big. And so far, Richter has. And I guess only the next 12.8 seconds will tell us if the Cats can generate one more scoring chance. The faceoff will be just to the right of Mike Richter.
36 shots for the New York Rangers at the Washington net. The Capitals have fired 31 at Mike Richter.
Get a final, and the Devils have beaten the Boston Bruins by a score of 2-0, so they lead that series 3-2.
And they've come from a 2-0 deficit. Boston won the first two games of the Meadowlands.
Dale Hunter in the last hockey game, Jeff, won 17 of 21 faceoffs. In the last two key faceoffs in the offensive zone, he has managed to win. None no bigger than this one right here.
From the draw, Rangers control. Leach retreats behind the net. Kristich throws it back in front. Loose puck bounces and bounces wide. Final seconds ticking off. The New York Rangers will win. The Rangers coming off the bench to congratulate Mike Richter. They hold on despite an outstanding effort by the Washington Capitals. And you know what? The Capitals are not hanging their heads. They're congratulating one another for a terrific effort tonight in giving the Rangers everything they had.
Yeah, a great hockey game and a great effort by the Capitals to try to bring it back for a Game 6. And even with all the hatred and hard work between the teams, the customary handshake, and I'm sure the fans with the roar, as much in appreciation of the Rangers winning as the effort that these two clubs have put forth.
I'll tell you what, this hockey game was as exciting as a hockey game could be. The Rangers win the game and the series, but they had to work hard to get it tonight.
And the Capitals at the end congratulating each other, and in particular over talking to Rick Tabaracci on the bench. What an outstanding game he gave them coming off of the bench.
The customary handshake, a tradition in the NHL. And I'll tell you what, look at Jim Schonfeld. He and Keith Elaine line up to congratulate the Rangers. And you don't see too often a coach line up at center ice after a series loss to congratulate the opposition. Give Jim Schonfeld a lot of credit for going out there and congratulating each and every member of the New York Rangers.
Well, without a doubt, a class act. Jim Schonfeld along with his assistant Keith Elaine.
The Rangers, I'll tell you, they had their hands full. The Capitals, down 3-0, played outstanding hockey in games 4 and 5. Had they been able to do this earlier, we may be looking at a Game 6 and possibly game number 7. Team captain Kevin Hatcher and the Capitals leave the ice for the final time. Mike Richter and the New York Rangers advance. Their opponent will be either New Jersey or Boston in the next round. We'll be back. Post-game show ahead.
Nobody. Okay? Huh? Fans have no class.
This Paramount 20 Capitals postgame show, sponsored by Southwest Airlines, now offering service from BWI to Chicago and Cleveland. Fly Southwest Airlines. It's just plain smart. Jeff Rimmer, Sean Simpson rejoining you here. An exciting hockey game played to the fullest, the full 60 minutes. New York Rangers had to be at their best to beat an inspired Washington Capitals hockey club here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, Jeff, we saw an outstanding hockey game. I guess if you're a Payne fan, you come and, hey, it was a great hockey game, end-to-end action. Capitals never quit. At the same time, the Rangers didn't. Work back and forth, and overall, just very, very exciting.
Capitals tonight with a supreme effort. Their backs against the wall. I thought for their full 60 minutes, maybe their best game of the series.
Well, it had to be one of their better efforts, especially on the road. You have a Ranger team that does not want to go back to the US Air Arena. They come out, they get that first goal, but again, Capitals are able to overcome that. Even when they're down 3-1, they come back and give that effort. And I'll tell you, that's been indicative of this hockey club. Not only the stretch drive to make the playoffs throughout that Pittsburgh series, exciting hockey, finishing them off in 6 games, and followed it up into this Rangers series. But I'll tell you, getting down 3-0 in games to a Ranger hockey team like this proved to be insurmountable, and very, very tough hole to dig.
No question, our Jeep Eagle player of the game tonight has to be Brian Leach, Rangers defenseman, here scoring what proved to be the game-winning goal.
Well, Capitals have the chance to clear. Nice try by Kevin Hatcher. Backhands it off. Zubov will put it down to Leach, who would rotate it out of the corner, moves in on Tabarachi. There he is with a good quick shot right between the legs, and that's the winner.
And for Brian Leach's 4th point of the night, now just 2 points back of the leading point getter in Stanley Cup playoff action, Doug Gilmour. Leach 3 assists and the game-winning goal, and certainly our Jeep Eagles star of the game, sponsored by your national capital area Jeep and Eagle dealers. So where do the Caps go from here?
Well, I tell you, exciting end of the season. They've got a good young hockey club. Of course, too early to be thinking about next season. I guess time for everybody to just sit back and, hey, let's face it, they would have loved to have gone further in the playoffs, but they upset the Penguins. They gave the Rangers a good run, and it's time to take a little break.
Sean, I want to thank you for working with us tonight.
Thank you, Jeff.
And all throughout the season, Bill Bilodeau, our producer, all the Capitals personnel, from Ed Quinlan on down, for just a great effort this season in helping us throughout our Paramount 20 telecast. Back with a final comment. Stay tuned.
Yeah. You have a final from the other game, right?
Don't read the bottom? Well, why does he have the top scratched off? Okay, I see now. Do I have to still read the credits? No. Announcers' wardrobes. We still need that. The only thing we're not reading is the last part. And we're not reading the next game. All right, I'm ready. Good job tonight, Bill. I'll tell you, it was a hell of a hockey game.
Wow.
Don't get any better. And this will pretty well wrap it up for Madison Square Garden. Again, the final score, the Capitals fall 4-3 to the Rangers. Rangers win the series 4-1 and will now advance against either New Jersey or Boston. The Devils now lead the series 3-2 following a 2-0 shutout victory on their home ice at the Meadowlands tonight. Announcers' wardrobes were provided by Menswear Mega Centers. Shop Menswear Mega Centers at our 2 area locations. They're open Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 6. Some player gifts have been provided by Promo Toys. Let Promo Toys develop a merchandising program for you. In closing tonight, I'd like to thank all the people who made it possible for us to televise Washington Capitals hockey this past season, beginning with General Manager David Poyle, who shared time and his friendship with us, to all those in the Capitals front office, Ed Quinlan, Lou Strudler, Julie Hensley, Dan Kaufman, and the many others who arranged, oversaw, and responded to all our requests. And a special thanks to the coaching staff, the training staff, and the players. We at Paramount 20 Sports wish you a restful, relaxing summer and a look ahead to 1994-95. And last but certainly not least, I would like to thank the fine folks at Paramount 20 who got us on the air. From General Manager Dick Williams, Operations Director Sandy Pastor, Executive Producer Marty Corwin, Production Manager Tom Warren. The production staff back at the station, Donald Morgan Jr., John Malone, Stacy Coughlin, Francis Fan, Lisa Kemp, and the entire crew in Master Control. I'm Jeff Rimmer saying good night from New York City, and we'll see you next season right here on Paramount 20 Sports.